Radio.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. The Prime Minister outlining vaccine perks. No COVID testing for fully vaccinated travelers. Indoor dining will be allowed for those who get both shots. And Junkanoo shacks will be open to vaccinated individuals. Meanwhile, the opposition leader says the government rejected Bahamian Group's offer to bring in vaccines. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, April 22nd, 2021. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Laverne Gardner will be joining us. Also this morning, it is Earth Day. We are talking about the environment here in the Bahamas and protecting it with the Bahamas National Trust this morning. And later in Morning Blend Business, it is Financial Literacy Month, and we continue our four-part series. In part 3 today, we are talking about budgeting and essential financial skills. That's all straight ahead, but first, it's time for the Overnight, the latest breaking news from while you're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, as COVID-19 cases continue to climb in the country, Prime Minister Dr. Menes announcing a number of relaxations to COVID-19 mitigation measures for fully vaccinated people, allowing them to travel and gather in groups more freely. As the Prime Minister spoke in Parliament yesterday, the Ministry of Health released its latest COVID update, revealing that 68 new cases were confirmed on Tuesday. The Prime Minister saying that fully vaccinated people traveling both domestically and internationally will be exempted from testing requirements. He said travelers within the Bahamas who have been fully vaccinated against the COVID-19 virus will be exempted from COVID-19 test requirements that are currently in place when traveling from New Providence, Grand Bahama, Abaco, Exuma, and Eleuthera. He says the travelers will be exempted immediately after full vaccination. Minister saying effective May 1st, this will be important for tourism and will give adequate time to put out necessary notices to those traveling to the Bahamas from outside the country. For months now, those traveling to the country from other places have been required to test negative for COVID-19 by way of an RT-PCR test within 5 days before entering the country. Travelers also were required to undergo a follow-up rapid antigen test after 5 days in the Bahamas. Those traveling domestically from New Providence, Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Eleuthera are also required to test negative for COVID-19 by way of an RT-PCR test currently within 5 days before their travels and undergo follow-up rapid antigen tests. Explaining his decision to eliminate those requirements, the Prime Minister noted the guidance of the CDC, which states that fully vaccinated people within the United States are not required to test for travel. However, the CDC also notes that it is not clear whether fully vaccinated people can still transmit COVID-19 to others. Meanwhile, while some healthcare workers have raised concern over limited capacity to handle a recent surge in COVID-19 cases, Minister of Health Edward Wells says that some 100 hospital beds are available in the country for COVID patients. Opposition leader Philip Davis accusing the government of rejecting an offer from a Bahamian group that wanted to bring in COVID-19 vaccines as early as January. Speaking in the House yesterday, Davis said, quote, "I'm aware that the Pfizer, the Moderna, and the AstraZeneca vaccines were offered to you from early January and without having to wait for COVAX. It was offered to you." Speaking to the Prime Minister and the government yesterday. Davis continued that the entity that offered to bring it in is today offering it to other countries in the Caribbean. He said he sought an explanation from the Prime Minister. The minister said that the government had received many offers from people willing to provide the vaccine. And over a year and a half after Hurricane Dorian devastated parts of Abaco, there remains a severe housing shortage on the island. That's according to Managing Director of the Disaster Reconstruction Authority, Catherine Forbes-Smith. According to the latest DRA statistics, there's a need to complete the repair of 3,735 homes between Abaco and Grand Bahama. And there's 3.5 million cubic yards of collected debris that must be reduced and sorted. That marine cleanup has to take place as second homeowners return to mainland Abaco and the Keys. Overseas, U.S. President Joe Biden will open a global climate summit with a pledge to cut at least in half the climate-wrecking coal and petroleum fumes that the U.S. pumps out, a commitment he hopes will spur China and other big polluters to speed up efforts of their own. Biden is offering Americans and the world a vision of a prosperous, clean energy United States where factories churn out cutting-edge batteries for export, line workers relay an efficient national electrical grid, and crews cap abandoned oil and gas rigs in coal mines. His commitment to cut U.S. fossil fuel emissions by up to 52% by 2030, similar to pledges from allies, will come at the launch today of an all-virtual climate summit for 40 world leaders, marking a return by the U.S. to global climate efforts after 4 years of withdrawal under former U.S. President Donald Trump. The Biden administration's pledge will require by far the most ambitious U.S. climate effort ever undertaken, nearly doubling the reductions that the Obama administration had committed to in the landmark 2015 Paris Climate Accord. The new urgency comes as scientists say the climate change caused by coal plants, car engines, and other fossil fuel is already worsening droughts, floods, hurricanes, wildfires, and other disasters, and that humans are running out of time to stave off most catastrophic extremes of global warming. In sports, Bahamian professional baseball player with the Miami Marlins, Jazredo Chisholm, getting his first assignment as a leadoff batter in Major League Baseball. And the 23-year-old infielder produced as he connected for hits in his first two at-bats and finished 2 for 4 for the afternoon yesterday. For Chisholm, it's already his 5th multi-hit game of the season, raising his team-leading batting average to .326. After his first 2 at-bats, he was at .341. He now has his safely in 8 of his last 9 games since leading the Marlins in a number of offensive stats. You read more about it in today's Guardian Sports section. Over in the NBA, after snapping their 9-game losing streak on Sunday, the Sacramento Kings ended up in the loss column again, falling to the Minnesota Timberwolves on their home court. In Sacramento, the Timberwolves winning easily, 134-120 Tuesday night. Bahamian Giovanni Buddy Hield, the starting 2-guard of the Kings, struggled with his shot in the loss as he finished with just 11 points on 3 for 11 shooting, all from behind the 3-point arc. From the NFL owners Wednesday approving eliminating overtime in preseason games and expanding selection of jersey numbers for receivers, running backs, and defensive backs. The league will also allow on-field officials to get certain objective information from the replay official and designated members of the officiating department when clear and obvious video and evidence is present. During a virtual meeting, the 32 owners also tabled a proposal by the Philadelphia Eagles that a team be given 2 chances per game to retain possession after a score by converting a 4th and 15 play from its 25-yard line. Some owners, general managers, and coaches consider that too gimmicky, though they are eager to find a solution to the near disappearance of the onside kick. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got two frontal boundaries that will merge across the northwest Bahamas, while high pressure will weaken over the rest of the country. Mariners should be alert for possible water spout activity in showers and thunderstorms. For today, your forecast for the northwest Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy, hot, humid, and hazy with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. Winds light and variable, becoming northeasterly at 10 to 15 knots by this afternoon. Seas 1 to 3 feet, building to 2 to 4 feet. For the central southeast Bahamas, partly sunny, humid, and hot. Hazy as well, with a passing shower. Winds east to southeast at 10 knots or less, increasing to 10 to 15 knots in the afternoon. Seas 1 to 3 feet, building to 2 to 4 feet. Temperature-wise, we are looking at highs today getting up to around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. Right now in Nassau, it's about 75 degrees under fair skies. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit. It's time for a break, but when we come back, we are discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Join me now, Laverne Gardner. Laverne Gardner, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I am.
That's wonderful. It's wonderful. How's the weather up there in Grand Bahama today?
It's raining.
It's raining.
It's overcast.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of that here. I'm not sure, but hey.
Yeah.
But oh well. All right, so we have a lot to get to this morning, a lot to talk about. You can join the conversation as well on Twitter at MorningBlend969 or Facebook, Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. You can text us 422-4796 on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC. Standard text rate apply. Coming up this morning, more weather and traffic. Hey, it's Earth Day. We're going to be talking about the environment and protecting the environment, and our friends from the BNT, the Bahamas National Trust, will be joining us this morning as we have that discussion. Then it is still Financial Literacy Month, all April long, and in part 3 of our series, we are going to be looking at budgeting and savings, budgeting and essential financial skills. We're going to get into that. I think everybody needs a little help with that at times. Some would say all the time. We're going to get into that this morning. So a lot to get to, but let's begin with what's in the news. And in the news, everybody was wondering yesterday at this time what we would be hearing from the Prime Minister in the House of Assembly yesterday morning. And I think we heard something that many weren't expecting. Many were expecting to hear about lockdowns and curfews heading in the wrong direction, but instead we learned about vaccine perks. No COVID testing for fully vaccinated travelers, and indoor dining will be allowed for those who get the shots. And Junkanoo, don't forget Junkanoo. Junkanoo shacks will be open to vaccinated individuals. Were they going to try to keep the ones who weren't vaccinated out? I don't think they would have had much luck with that. But anyway, okay, let's listen to what the Prime Minister had to say yesterday in this report from our Kyle Joaquin.
Once they have received the second dose vaccine, or they have met the vaccination requirements, they do not need any further testing to move about through our Bahamaland.
The Prime Minister calling off a list of privileges that we once had pre-COVID, but now for those fully vaccinated. The $100 plus fee for RT-PCR tests, in addition to the travel health visa, has been a pain for many traveling from New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Abaco. But Minister revealing that those days will now be behind everyone who has gotten their second jab. And for those looking to enter the Bahamas, here's what takes effect May 1st.
Effective 1st of May, those traveling to the Bahamas from outside of the country will be exempted from a COVID-19 test if they are fully vaccinated and have passed the 2-week immunity period.
Those not fully vaccinated must still present a negative result for a COVID-19 test. And after a year of being forced to only drive through or eat outdoors, indoor dining is making a return, but only for those fully vaccinated.
Once individuals are fully vaccinated, individuals can participate in a closed environment. Once all within that closed environment are fully vaccinated, then the mask would not be necessary.
Minister pointing to things like Junkanoo and independence celebrations that were able to occur pre-COVID, and how vaccinated persons would be able to begin preparations.
Those like myself who participate in Junkanoo, once we are all vaccinated, we can work within the Junkanoo shots among us all vaccinated individuals.
But the country remains smack in the middle of a third wave. While he didn't announce any tighter restrictions, Minnis advised that there will be stricter enforcement of protocols.
We've been that road before, Mr. Speaker, and we have overcome. We know what to do, we have done it, and we will do it again.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Okay. People have been calling. People have been telling us how much it's been costing Laverne to be traveling between Grand Bahama and New Providence and any family island, how costly it's been. Will this be what makes people who were on the fence about taking the vaccine and make them realize that this is, okay, well, I might as well just do it? Or people just aren't going to travel anymore? Or are they willing just to pay all that money? What will this really make a difference now?
I guess for some people it may make a difference, especially for those people who have to travel. Now this appears to be their only option, rather than maybe seeing how best we can adjust the cost of testing or remove the cost of testing. We now have an incentive geared towards making sure that you are, and let me emphasize, the Prime Minister said fully vaccinated, which I believe to mean both shots, not if you just take the first one. Because when you take the first one, you have to take a second one. I think it's usually within 6 weeks or so, or thereabouts. So these are the perks for those people who are fully vaccinated. So for people who just have the one shot so far, you're still going to have to get tested.
Absolutely.
You're still going to have to pay this price. These exorbitant prices to travel, to get tested, to get the travel visa, all of that. So I just want people to be clear. I don't want people who've gotten the first dose to think, okay, I'm good, because he said fully vaccinated.
Yeah. And just in case there is confusion, I know that I heard a report, and clearly that person didn't hear all of what the Prime Minister did say or was getting it secondhand, but it's also domestic travel, not just international.
Yes.
So that's all travelers, if you are fully vaccinated. Right. All right. So we want to hear your views on this. Again, we've moved beyond the point of your dislike or your fears or your distrust of the vaccines. Yes, that's been clear. You don't want it. Okay. We don't want to hear that today again.
I got videos and reasons, Dwight.
Okay, you're fine. I mean, you're looking for company. You want more people to be on your side. Hey. Okay, but we already know, and you've called many times before, you don't want the vaccine. Thank you very much. Okay, now this is for the people who have issues with what the Prime Minister announced yesterday or still have concerns about AstraZeneca. Let's talk. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, and text us, 422-4796. Let's see what you have to say. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Mr. Strachan, how are you doing, sir?
Hi, good morning.
Mr. Gardner, how are you doing?
Good morning.
Mr. Strachan, first of all, right, I mean, everybody is entitled to their opinion as long as they ain't being defensive or defaming nobody, no. Is that so?
Yeah, that's right.
Mr. Strachan, I mean, first of all, right, I mean, this is a government shakedown, you know. Why is this a shakedown, right? Why are the testing not free? Why is certain doctors making all kind of money on who's relative to the Prime Minister? That's a fact. It's a shakedown. Let the testing be free, and people can know who wants to have to go on a virus, and then people will decide if they will take it or not. Like I said, no, Mr. Strachan, you take your vaccine yet?
I haven't, no.
And then, like Jamaicans say, this a money thing. Like Ms. Gardner said, this is in the first vaccine. And now, The Americans are saying you have to take 3 vaccines. You know that, right? Pardon me?
We've been hearing that from the beginning,
Yeah,
that you might need
this
boosters.
This is a shakedown for greedy doctors who don't care about the women people. Why are the vaccine is not free? And then, Mr. Strawn.
You mean the testing?
The test is not free.
Yeah.
Mr. Strawn. Another thing too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
And then, like Mr. Davis said, who are the payment companies who offer to bring in vaccine to this country? Why this government is playing games with payment people?
Yeah, but Dave, are you going to take the vaccine?
Mr. Strawn, just be careful.
I mean, you're bringing that up, but you don't even care. You don't even care.
Mr. Strawn, let me answer you. Listen to me carefully.
Uh-huh.
I live in Firmino. I was a big growing man.
Yeah. So you don't care about the vaccine, so what's it to you?
Mr. Strawn, let me answer you. Listen to me carefully. Hello?
Yeah, I'm
I was a big growing man. I go into heaven and hell for me. Nobody can carry me to heaven, you know. So what I'm trying to say, this isn't about me, no. This is about the public.
Okay.
Stop strong arming the public and they're taking this vaccine and they're playing the political money game. Stop having greedy doctors charging people $300. I mean for testing.
100.
That's the big thing right now. Stop it. Okay?
We agree with you on that we still don't understand it, and there's been no effort to try to get the price down for the testing, and nobody's talking about it except for the public, and that's bizarre. It is very, very, very odd. 323-6232.
Well, the member of parliament for North and Eleuthera did get up and speak on behalf of his constituents about the cost of testing. And he did say that it costs them anywhere between $100 and some dollars to up to $300. It's been costing them. I mean, we don't even have a regulation on why should it cost this much?
Makes no sense. Makes no sense at all.
It doesn't. And no one is explaining the logic behind this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Good morning.
Hi.
Just want to make a few comments.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, on the Prime Minister saying that persons who are fully vaccinated will not have to take tests to travel in the Bahamas and to come into the Bahamas. Now, we know there's information out there that some persons, even though they have already been fully vaccinated, have contracted COVID. Shouldn't our country, in the first beginning, be trying to gather our own data on if that is so, by requiring persons just to take the COVID test for travel for, say, a 3-month period or so that we can develop our own statistics to figure out if that is actually the case?
That's a very good question.
And secondly, with the Prime Minister mandated that working in a Junkanoo shop, you can work in a Junkanoo shop if you are fully vaccinated. Why the Prime Minister didn't start with the office of the Prime Minister, the Cabinet Office, or the Parliament? Because Junkanoo shocks, if anyone who's ever been in a Junkanoo shock, the majority of Junkanoo shocks are naturally ventilated, meaning they don't have no air conditioning. They have windows and doors that they have open. But all these workplaces, the food stores, why is he mandating that in order to work in a Junkanoo shock, that you need to be fully vaccinated? Does that make any sense?
It makes no sense. I need him to stop talking about the Junkanoo. It really...
I think he's using it. I could be wrong, but I feel as if he's using it to show like, hey, this is where my heart is. I'm so quote unquote down for the people, the kind of way, just so he keeps calling it that. It doesn't make any sense, but he keeps saying that.
Yeah, but he's the Prime Minister for the whole country, okay? He has tremendous power that nobody else in the Bahamas has, okay? He has tremendous power, okay? In fact, he has dictatorial powers that nobody else in the Bahamas has ever used in my lifetime. So if you're going to do something as a government and a Prime Minister, please make it make sense for the whole population, because Junkanoo shacks, the majority of them are naturally ventilated. people go to work every day, even before this vaccine, people being going to work. People being piling up in the food stores from this thing started.
Yeah.
Okay? No ventilation, air conditioning. The persons who work in the food store be there 8 hours at a time.
Yeah.
Most
Well, I don't think
companies,
anyone is really paying attention to him when he talks about Junkanoo. There's no way he can enforce this. I mean, what's he
Right.
going to do? It's absolutely nonsense.
That's what they're saying. When you go to our parliament, right, as a prime minister, this COVID thing been going on now for over a year. You need to come with things that make sense.
Yeah.
You need to come with things that make sense. And the thing what really is what has amused me is when he said that some members of parliament bang on the table.
That amuses you? I expect anyway.
These politicians on both sides of that is where their mind is beat. They bang on the table. But
they'll bang for anything.
We need to be careful with, first off, getting vaccinated and traveling, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because the statistics is out there that people are catching COVID. So we should be trying to do our own little monitoring before we just say, oh, you could travel. And that's still going to solve the problem with people who get children who can't get vaccine, who got to travel. You get 3 kids, you still got to pay over $100 to get them tested.
Yep. You are right. Yep. Very good points. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You know what I found very interesting about the address? I had prepared myself, I don't know for what, but I had prepared myself, I'm going to tune in because I had expected that the Prime Minister would have addressed the fact that we are in the third wave, that there has been reports that there is a new strain. We're seeing continual rising cases. I thought that he may have even spoken to the report for the CDC. Now, I have my feelings on that, but whatever. I thought that. And so I was like, okay, let me listen in, and nothing. Instead, we got a report saying how Abaco's curfew is going to be relaxed, and we're going to have relaxed measures for people who are fully vaccinated. Mm-hmm. And like the caller rightly said, the thing with this vaccine is this vaccine doesn't stop you from getting COVID. It stops, I guess, the symptoms aren't as severe. Right. So it helps you not to die from COVID. And they've already said that, yes, you can still contract COVID even when you are fully vaccinated. So I don't know what was happening yesterday.
Well,
maybe some of our callers can shed some light. It was just, to my mind, all it was just another push to have people take the vaccine.
Yeah. Well, this can work. This can work, but like the previous caller mentioned, and Dave as well, right? Free testing is going to be an essential part of this because, as you said, even though you can still contract COVID even after you've been vaccinated. So people are going to need to get on a scale, essentially, right? Let's just see. Get your pressure tested, get your COVID test, right?
Right.
But it can't cost you anything so that you will do it and
exactly.
feel comfortable with it. That's going to be necessary, but we're not hearing any talk like that. And if we're going to allow this type of travel, you're going to need access to free testing. So that, hey, you're in the mall, get a COVID test. Yeah, okay, why not? Something like that. Anyway, don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. Let's take this test. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, you all.
Hi, good morning.
All right, what I like to say is that the people who have a problem with the vast majority of people who have a problem with taking the tests for travel reasons, most of those people have means, right? They travel, right? As well as the tourists coming, need to take the test, right? My view is that okay, let's say all the free tests. It ain't about the free test, it's about testing everyone. Okay, let's say we test everyone, right? What's the next step? The next step is to lock down for at least 14 days. Totally lock down for 14 days to get rid of this. After you take the test, you know who has it. You take them into the facility cure this thing or until they get a negative, right? Then you lock down, right? You lock down to get rid of this. You have to lock down, and people don't want to lock down. You lock down your borders, you lock down domestically, right? And then what you do after that? After you lock down, then what you got to do? Continue to test those who travel and continue to test the visitors. So, and that's a difficult thing to do. You see, the problem is we need these visitors. We need to do something. We need to address you see what I'm saying? We need to address the way we make money in this country through this tourism thing. That's the most. We need to get these political people, these political operatives, they don't have any answer. You see? Okay, let me find something positive in the Prime Minister's statement about the jungle shack. If everybody who has the vaccine goes in that jungle shack, that means that more times than none, that they won't become sick. I mean, extremely sick to death. You understand what I'm saying? The COVID-19 is here. It's about them not being sick to die. You know what I'm saying? Thank you.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
And good morning. I always call her Lady Gardner.
Good morning.
And good morning to those who wake up in the land of the living. Dwight Strachan, let me ask you a very serious question this morning as a Bahamian and also as a person that I respect. I know sometimes me and you, I don't agree with your views. How much more money do you believe the average struggling Bahamian has to afford to pay for this test? You got some people in this country, Dwight, this morning. You listen on this radio this morning. I will say this to you. You wake up this morning, don't even have a cup of tea. All right, you got people like even
right,
myself. I can speak for myself.
Then this is good
I
news,
want to really take the vaccine, but Dwight, at the end of the day, right? When we had persons, and and Vaughn said it on his show before, you had private doctors who are willing to bring the vaccine in. This is what we call I wouldn't say a crisis, but if you find some people want to do things. Even right down to the hurricane, Mr. Strachan, the Americans wanted to help.
Right, let's not mix issues up now, right? So
no. I'm talking about helping. I'm using in my statement to help, Dwight.
Yeah.
Why is it that every time?
Well, are you sure?
Everything
do we know?
Has to be a price tag for the poor people.
Well, that's the question. Do we know whether those would be free if private individuals bring them in?
Yeah, but Dwight, what I'm saying to you, I could be honest with you, right? I know people who really want to go away and stuff, but they don't have the money. They maybe have a couple of dollars they scrap because they ain't working.
Okay, so this is good news then. This is good news. This is good news then. Get vaccinated, which is free, and you can travel without having to pay those extra costs.
But Dwight, you see where this headed down to? I mean, it's just a conspiracy theory of my own. It seems to me like in order for you, right, to go to a food store, eventually you have to verify that you took the vaccine. That's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. And to be honest with you, it's coming to the reality rate before sensible thinking people's eyes. But you don't have no money to take. Right now, I bet you the Prime Minister, you know what? Testing is free. And you will find Bahamian people, them, to these places where they're doing the vaccine or wherever they do the free testing, jumping to run to get, I'll go. Honest to goodness, I'll go. Why is it that in the United States, when you go around, you look on TV, you look at the malls, you look at different places, people doing free testing, free, F-R-E-E. Why is it so? Why is it when it comes to free testing with this government, with this COVID situation, why do they still want to try to squeeze the last 1 cent, but don't have no value of the Bahamian people?
All right, so you got to see what you're saying there now. There is free testing. Good luck getting it. It's in the clinics, right?
Right.
But it's the private sector that is not doing free. So to say it's the government, I don't know. But I mean, maybe they can do something.
Where is free testing for Bahamian people so I could go today?
I think you can get it at some of these clinics, but it's not easy. It's not easy. It's
Okay. Now we're getting something, Mr. Straw.
I don't know if it's free testing for traveling purposes. So you may want to check that.
Right. If you are sick, I think you can get
Right.
I think if you have some,
Ms.
but if you just want to know,
Let me ask you a question, Ms. Gardner. So what's the difference of me getting a free testing here to say I get a free testing and I get a free testing to travel? What's the difference?
big difference. One is you have symptoms, you might believe that you are sick, as opposed to you needing to go and have some fun, right? So there's a difference. But we agree with you, testing should be free. But hey, if that is an issue, then the vaccine is available, and now you may not need to be concerned about wherever requires you to provide a test result, because you'd be fully vaccinated according to where you're going, where we are going. As you say, many people see that as well. It's clear, even if a supermarket doesn't come out and say it, there are going to be so many other requirements for you to show that you are vaccinated that they'll just assume that you are.
Dwight, let me leave you with this. I think, honestly, right, I don't like to be political, but to be honest with you, brother, I think the Prime Minister needs to take this back to the Bahamian people and get a new mandate. Let the Bahamian people...
Take what back?
The whole election. Because, Dwight, let me say something to you. When I listen to...
Because of this?
Pardon?
Because of the vaccine issue?
Because of everything, Dwight. Let's be realistic.
Well, we have a year to go, so it's coming. It's coming soon. And
hey, listen, Dwight. I mean, I could be honest with you again. I wish it could be like next week. But have a good day, you and Miss Gardner.
Okay. All right.
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't know if we want it right now.
It could be next week, because it's not like we have fixed election dates.
I think he has to give him a little more time. But hey, you don't want that now, because people aren't fully vaccinated and people are going to be all up on top of each other and drunk. And so you don't want that right now in the middle of surging COVID numbers. So, yeah. But anyway, let's take some more calls before we get to your messages. Lots of them coming in. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Good morning, Miss Gardner.
Morning.
Yes, Dwight, you heard what we said before, right? Like, today we're not talking, we've moved on. If you don't want the vaccine, that's your business. We are talking about what the Prime Minister had to say, and if you have concerns about this current one that is, not what's all wrong with vaccines and how they're all blah, blah.
Dwight, what I'm saying is, you don't control the narrative.
No, we got to, because we can't keep talking about the same thing over and over and over again. We're not getting anywhere if we do.
Right, but it's scary. This is an inglorious moment. But the thing is, I don't look for credence from you all. Members of the public has approached me all over the place. A lot of people know that I speak the truth, right? Now what happens is, I spoke about scientific dictatorship and this biosecurity paradigm. I don't know if people understand the English that I speak, right? But here's what I'm upset about: the fact that you're allowing people to come in without testing them, and you're allowing us, you're permitting, you want us to take an RT-PCR test for inter-island travel,
no,
right?
We just said that.
All of
that will stop.
Yeah, that's what I want. And also the fact that I'm not hearing from the media, right?
You did get what we said, right? That all travel, if you're fully vaccinated, you don't need to test anymore, according to what the Prime Minister said yesterday. All travel.
But I can help with the situation.
Including domestic.
What happens is, you may have people are fully vaccinated, still because everybody's immune system is not robust enough. All right, and so what happens is you get a different reaction for every person, and it's very rare that people contract this disease after they're being vaccinated, right? But the fact that they're not talking with adjuvants, all right, and I just didn't want to get. But what I'm upset about is that the fact that the Robert Kennedy Jr. along with the Informed Consent Action Network, that's the acronym, right, for ICANN, right? The Health and Human Services had admitted, in direct violation of federal law, the Health and Human Services failed to provide a single vaccine safety report to Congress for the past 30 years, according to the Informed Action Consent Report. Now, this case has already been adjudicated, and Robert Kennedy Jr. and ICANN have already won. And this is backed by a peer-reviewed study by Dr. Paul Soucy, right? And so what happens is, after they had to carry the Health and Human Services to court under the Freedom of the Information Act, and the Health and Human Services admitted that these reports didn't exist because they didn't do it. So the fact that they were supposed to submit these reports as far as efficacy and safety, and they didn't do that. So how could you force this paradigm on an unsuspecting, ignorant public? And also, Dwight, there's no problem with these. There's an oral vaccine coming out by Orvax. So I noticed Dr. Nikia Forbes she gave an alternative, which is a good idea, right? But the fact that I've been talking things that actually materializing, I hope the BME people will wake up and listen to what I'm saying. Don't worry about me. Worry about the messages. Now, the fact that the oil vaccine has no side effects, and it wouldn't be in the, it have clinical trials starting next year. So, and this is by a company called Orvax. I think they're working in conjunction with some Indian company, but you could go and read up on it. But they're squeezing us into this biosecurity paradigm, and you see the perks, right? And so when I called and talked about the disclosure from the member of parliament about the Justin Trudeau government about this third wave, they have actually created these third waves. They're actually testing some. You have influenza A, B, and C. They're actually testing these third waves, and on the CDC website, they have where some cases of diagnosis COVID and vice versa. And so this is what it is. And you have Dr. Dolores Kyle, who was in charge of help bringing together the.
All right, I gotta stop you there. I'm sorry. People are already really very nervous, scared. Yeah. So yes, everybody go up and read more. Google. Yeah. Check the source though, but we can't. You're scaring people. I'm sorry. I know you want to get the information out there, and yes, go and do your research, folks. But it's a lot that people are dealing with, and we don't want to make it unbearable. I'm sorry. Okay, let's take this call, and then we'll get to your messages. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Caller, good morning. Nope. Okay. All right, let's read some messages. My goodness. Okay. I will not be forced to take COVID vaccine this year or next year. Don't need to travel anytime soon. Okay, good for you. Well, okay, well, there. Here, there are some people like myself who genuinely don't take medication but would rather use natural remedies, okay, instead of aspirin or Theraflu. So why are we being forced to take a vaccine? So what, you've never taken a vaccine before? I mean, how are you doing anything in this country? Are you even in this country? Because I'm sure you have had many vaccines. What's your issue? Anyway, okay. We do understand that if we were hospitalized, we would have to take some form of medicine. But why take a vaccine if you're healthy, sir? You really? Oh, my God. What is happening? What's going on in this country? Why? So is it the education system, Laverne? Is that what it is? Has it truly failed us all? Is that what it is?
People just don't want to take the vaccine.
No, but to say that why take a vaccine if you're healthy? What? Do they know what a vaccine is? It's not the treatment. It's not the treatment.
That's when, honestly, and you know, this is not a push either way, because I really believe it's up to every person to make a sound decision and do what is in their best interest. But we've taken vaccines. We've gotten vaccinated as children, right? Most of us, and especially if we had to attend school over here, you know, you have to bring in your immunization records. So in terms of speaking to it from a standpoint of saying I'm healthy, why do I need to take a vaccine? That's a non-starter. So let's just take a deep breath and read some more messages.
Let's do that. Oh boy. Okay, this one here. Can you please explain to me why people who've recovered from the virus considered as immune? Why people who have recovered from the virus considered as immune as those vaccinated? Okay, you're missing some words, but I think I get what you're saying. But what they've been saying from the beginning is that they are not too sure how long your immunity lasts. Right? It could have been anywhere from 6 months to maybe longer, but they don't know. So that's why. But if you've had COVID recently, you are not advised to take the vaccine at this time.
No, there is a waiting period.
Right. But they don't know how long the immunity lasts.
Will last.
And there are cases of people who've had COVID twice. So that's why there's concern there. But anyway, the texter goes on to say people who have recovered can't get the vaccine again, but the vaccinated can get it. You can get the vaccine again, but not right now. And but people will get it right because it doesn't prevent it necessarily. It just reduce the severity.
Severity of the symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
And so the push is that you won't, even if you're vaccinated, if you're fully vaccinated, let me say that. The push is that even if you contract COVID, you won't die from it.
Right. Or get even very sick, or even get very sick. And the studies are still going, whether you'd be able to transmit it. There was some talk that at least one of the vaccines greatly reduced the transmissibility rates and stuff like that. Another one here. I'm extremely happy with the Prime Minister's speech. This country does not need a lockdown. We need to press forward, and he needs to stop listening to the alarmist healthcare officials. Tell them to do their jobs. If a person gets sick, oh my goodness, it's a known fact viruses are not re-radiated, only contained. Okay.
Well, these are the people, as the texter said, alarmist health officials. These are the people that he has to consult, eh? Because if he didn't consult them, then we'll say that he makes decisions without consulting the professionals.
Exactly. Another text, the Prime Minister and the rest are only talking about Junkanoo as candy charm or magnetic carrots.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister and others are dangling it in a way to entice people to take the vaccine.
That's all it is. It's for those who are maybe on the fence about it, who were in the Junkanoo shack. That's your perk. That's, hey, you could get back in the shack if you're fully vaccinated.
Well, your shack could be your garage, so I don't know what are you going anyway, whatever.
It's just another push for people to get the vaccine.
Winning the next election is clearly taking precedence over everything else. It's becoming a free-for-all now. It's all about winning the election and doing whatever it takes, including pleasing the masses by extending curfews, etc. It's distasteful and carelessness. I cry shame on that speech made by the Prime Minister yesterday that basically said nothing about the current crisis we are in with the onset of this third wave. It's all about winning the election now.
I kind of agree. I don't feel that it is even just about winning the elections. We've already made agreements and put out there that it's okay to come to the Bahamas. We've made arrangements for cruise ships to be able to come here and kind of do their cruising. So I guess to turn around and then say after that you're in a lockdown, that you're in a third wave, that you're all of these things that we are seeing increased cases. We have to protect the message that we have already put out there.
Sure.
And so it appears as if we're not in a panic about this third wave, then maybe people will feel who are considering traveling, hey, they don't seem to be in a panic about it. Maybe they have it under control, which we know we don't, right? But
also
perception.
Yeah. But also, I don't know, Texter, you might not have been one of those saying it, but last year, people were saying, we can do this on our own. We know what we need to do. We don't need the government to be controlling us like we're children. And we know we need to sanitize and socially distance and whatever. So clearly it's come to that now, right? The onus is on you to be sensible, to not go to those gatherings, to not be up in people's faces, and to keep your distance and sanitize, all that stuff. So
it calls for discipline, which
absolutely.
we always seem to be very good at. So we're in a third wave. My recommendation for everybody is to police yourself.
Exactly.
Follow the safety protocols. Do the things that you have to do. Wear your mask properly. Wash your hands. Watch out with these social gatherings. All of the things that we've been told that we needed to do, so we have to do this even more.
Yep. More text messages. Someone says, Bahamians, let's face it, we're not getting out of this situation unless we vaccinate as many Bahamians as possible. The government is doing its part in providing a solution, but we are rejecting it. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. A lot don't want to take the vaccine, follow the protocols, and be locked down. So what is the Prime Minister to do? We are not a serious people. Why would the Bahamas take vaccine from unknown? Why would the Bahamas take vaccine from unknown people that are not approved by the WHO or CDC? That's just silliness. Well, I don't think it was a new vaccine, but they were just going to pre-order the existing ones. But again,
right, and provide the country with it.
Right, but would
it
that be?
Wasn't like they had a new vaccine that was untested that they were bringing.
I don't think so. But would it be free is a question I have. And maybe it is best if it all goes through one channel at this time. I'm not sure, but maybe we'll learn more soon about all of this.
Right, we don't really have the details about that. We just got the leader of the opposition kind of standing up and mentioning it. And then the Minister of Health in his response just spoke in very general terms. He did not speak specifically to that company. So we don't know all of the details. I would have liked to have had all of the details, but
typical.
We don't know.
Yeah. This one here, you can use a condom and still catch AIDS. You can take birth control and still get pregnant. You can fly on a plane with the best pilot and still crash. So what's the point of complaining about the vaccine? Yeah. Very, very interesting points.
Interesting.
I have the small picture of what the Prime Minister said. I don't think they realized the Prime Minister did what he did because the cruise port is opening and he's trying to open the country so we can all make money. Another one here. Okay, yep. Testing is free at the clinics only if you are very ill with symptoms. Every time I think of taking the vaccine, the Prime Minister comes out with policies that's based on no science and makes me rethink my decision. Why were we not talking about how well the vaccines work and about the breakthrough variation infections and how high the case numbers are for young people in India? These perks remove the science completely. Interesting text. Why does it sound like you are looking down on people who don't want to take the vaccine? I am one who made a decision years ago to get healthy. I'm almost 60 and have not taken any kind of drugs in the last 20 years. Now, people keep saying drugs. People keep saying drugs. Drugs and are very different, right? So, yeah. Let's not mix the two up.
We're not looking down on people who don't want to take the vaccine. But, we are constrained by time, and we're trying to give those people an opportunity who maybe were on the fence to be able to give their reaction to what the Prime Minister said yesterday. Do they see this as a greater incentive for them to take the vaccine? Because we've spoken ad nauseum about why people don't want to take it. Your fears, your concerns, the 650 million videos that are sent to your phone on a daily basis. So we just wanted to give those people who may have been on the fence an opportunity to say, now the tips available, how do they feel, right?
Yep, very true. This is a great question here. How is a person who has COVID supposed to know when to take the vaccine if they can't say how long the antibodies last? These are good questions. How long after you've had COVID? What should you do once you take the vaccine? What can't you do? Things like that. I don't think we're hearing enough about. You're right about that. And I still say that perhaps they need to be testing people before they take the vaccine. I think that would be very helpful. But those are. We don't have the answers. We don't have the answers to some of those questions. A few more. We've got a lot of these. I won't be able to get to all of these because we have to take a break. But this text here, it was said that if you have COVID-19, you should not take the vaccine. Why was it not a requirement to produce a negative COVID-19 test before taking the vaccine? Yep, exactly. But it's also quite costly, as we have been discussing this morning. But yep, that's what we just said. Can you explain to me why people who've recovered from the virus? We read that one already. Do you know which is longer, those who get vaccinated or those who recover? I'm sure those who get vaccinated. But immunity is the wrong word, though. Again, immunity is not the right word. Yeah. Okay. Have vaccination groups been extended to the general public or to junkaneurs, or only to junkaneurs?
It's been extended to the general public, but junkaneurs first. I'm just kidding.
That's core part of all of this. Very important. Another one. I will take the vaccine sometime in the near future, but I will have the best seat for junkanoo in my bed watching TV. There you go. There you go.
Dwight, I think you're going to have to go ahead and take the vaccine, and just so that you're able to share with us from your experience.
We should have a whole big thing with all the Morning Blend co-hosts and hosts. How about that?
All of those.
All of y'all. Us.
Extended to those who were able to partake of that delicious breakfast a week or so ago.
Oh boy. Okay. Let's take a break and be back with more. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Shutting down the respiratory tract, then vital organs you attack. Pain.
Roaming just got easier. Say hello to more with our new Liberty Prime plan. With more minutes, more texts, and more data to do the things you love right here at home and even when you travel. With the all-new Liberty Prime, Liberty Premium, and Liberty Elite, you've got one less worry. Roam again. Alive. Believe in best. Believe in best.
There's only one way to have a better morning. How? Start your mornings the best way with our 2 for $6 breakfast sandwiches at Wendy's. For a limited time, favorite breakfast sandwiches, including the fresh Strachan sack muffin, honey buttermilk chicken biscuit, double sausage muffin, or the sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. Wash it all down with our cold brew shake or coffee. Better mornings always start at Wendy's. Wendy's, different inside and out. Excludes airport locations.
Gran, it was good to see you, but we've got to get home.
Yep, we've got to let the dog out.
Speaking of dogs, you won't believe who I saw the other day.
Who?
Honey.
Remember Anton, Jeanette's oldest boy? The one with the dogs.
With local claims managers, we pay your motor claims fast. We're like a goodbye at your granny's that doesn't take 30 minutes.
We really got to get going.
So soon?
CG Atlantic Agents. Insurance, health, pensions, life. Good like that. Nassau Insurance Brokers and Agents Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Agents.
Stay a step ahead of technology with certainty and support from Custom Computers. Our know-how team is here to help you zero in on your next big tech purchase, finding solutions that take your productivity to the next level using only the best and most reliable brands. With 4 stores all across Nassau, Fort Bay, and Palmdale, there's no stopping you from stepping up your tech. Reach out to us at 396-1100. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Cash is what we have been using for generations, but it's no longer the only way to pay or receive money. That is great news for business owners. I'm Lasagna Mizik, Managing Director at RBC Royal Bank, encouraging you to find out how going cashless can benefit your business with faster transactions and settlements, better cash flow management, plus reduce risk of theft. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean/go cashless. RBC Royal Bank. Banking reimagined.
Basketball is back, baby, and so is NBA League Pass, only with Rev Trio. Sign up for Rev Trio today and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free, along with incredible prizes, including a brand new 50-inch smart TV, NBA gear, and more. With tons of prizes and gear, signing up for Trio is the best on and off-court move this year. Just call 601-8992 or view BS/promotions/Trio. Sign up for Rev Trio today and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Got a check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. In your real-time traffic, as usual, Sir Miles Butler Highway, your hotspot this morning. Heavy traffic from Fire Trail Road all the way up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway in the northbound lanes. And the traffic extends even south of the roundabout with Fire Trail right now, and it's backed up along Fire Trail as well, eastbound towards Sir Miles Butler Highway. Glasser Road also busy northbound, heading towards JFK Drive. And Blue Hill Road northbound, also heavy traffic just north of Soldier Road as you head towards Independence Drive. Independence Drive also busy westbound, heading towards that roundabout with Blue Hill Road. Carmichael Road seeing heavy traffic eastbound, heading towards Blue Hill Road, and Blue Hill is busy from Carmichael all the way down to St. Vincent Road in the northbound lane. We are seeing heavy building traffic on Eastern Road westbound and portions along Prince Charles Drive, westbound, and especially the major intersections like Foxhill Road, Beatrice Avenue, and Soldier Road, and pockets along East Street, mainly south of East-West Highway and the roundabout there. The northbound lanes between Soldier Road and East-West Highway looking pretty busy this morning. Those are your hot spots. We'll have another real-time report for you just after the 8 o'clock news. That's your Morning Blend Traffic Alert brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. And we've got another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Rev Cable Bahamas. We've got two frontal boundaries that will merge across the northwest Bahamas while high pressure will weaken over the remaining islands. Mariners should be alert for water spouts in showers and thunderstorms today. For the northwest Bahamas, your forecast calls for partly cloudy to cloudy, hot and humid conditions. Hazy as well. Storms. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. For the central southeast Bahamas, partly sunny, humid, hot and hazy with a passing shower. Another hot day in store. Highs getting up to around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. In your extended outlook, that cold front will drift into the central Bahamas, where it will weaken and dissipate by Friday as high pressure and fresh breezes will build across the islands on Saturday. So for tomorrow, Friday, look for partly cloudy, warm, and breezy conditions in the northwestern islands with isolated showers or a thunderstorm near the front in the central Bahamas. Mostly sunny and warm in the southeastern islands. And for Saturday, partly mostly sunny, hot and breezy with isolated showers. That's your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Rev. Basketball fans, the time is now to sign up for Rev Trio and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free. Call 601-8992 or email trio@cablebahamas.com to sign up. Rev, you and us together. This Morning Blend will be back after these messages. Stay with us.
Is your heart failing you? Find out. Join Cleveland Clinic, Florida and Doctors Hospital on Tuesday, April the 27th at 6 p.m. for a free webinar on all things heart. Hear from leading experts on cardiovascular disease, Dr. Alejandro Mezclas of Doctors Hospital and Dr. Howard Bush of Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Don't let your heart miss this beat. Visit us online at events.dpa-media.com or call 394-0677.
Meet Jackie. Jackie's a hard worker with a steady income, but she has a personal loan and multiple credit cards to pay off. To keep her account current, Jackie opted for a loan from Fidelity Bank to consolidate her debt into one monthly payment and earn interest on a built-in savings account. Be like Jackie. Call 356-7764 to book a complimentary financial coaching session. Fidelity also offers virtual assistance. Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Traveling.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Laverne Gardner. Coming up after the news, we're going to be talking about Earth Day. It is Earth Day today, and we've got the Bahamas National Trust. They're going to be our guests coming up in just a few minutes. Let's read some more of these messages before we go to the news. Someone says here, Dwight, you just told that texter that I'm sure that those that got vaccinated have more protection against reinfection. Dwight, are you saying that the vaccine provides more protection than my own God-given natural body? You have to read more and not... Okay, all right. Are we protecting the message or pretending the message? Do we, as a country, need a reality check? Look at the other world news stations. Now, I'm not sure what you're saying, so you might need to give us a little more details about what you specifically think we should be looking at. Another one here. It seems like this prime minister wants to lose the few people who would have voted for him by trying to intimidate them into taking the vaccine. I've seen the news in the U.S. which says people with allergies should not take the vaccine. I'm one of those people with allergies. All right, so those are the things we were talking about earlier, about who should and who shouldn't take it. We need to hear more about that here. And I don't think we're hearing much about that kind of stuff here. You and your guests seem to be getting irritated when people talk against this vaccine and catering to pro-vaccinators, cutting your callers off because of their views. It is rude. The old vaccine for kids are nothing like the godforsaken vaccine, like this godforsaken vaccine. How could you say that? So this vaccine that is not approved by the FDA. So if it's Pfizer and Moderna, you'll be fine. That's what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
I'm going to need people to really listen to what I'm saying and not misquote and twist what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, all right.
Yeah.
Well, Carl, I'd like to know what vehicle you drive. Send me a text on the type of car that you drive. I want to see if it's approved by the Americans for use in their country. I have a strong feeling it's not, but let me know. Just let me know, because there's a lot of things, if that's what you want to go by, that we shouldn't be doing here. But, hey, let's break for news, and then we'll pick up with more Morning Blend. Stay with us.
It's Thursday, April 22nd, 2021, and you're listening to the Guardian News Network Morning Report. Hello, everyone. I'm Charlene Ferguson. Thanks for tuning in. Topping the news, the Prime Minister has announced travel privileges for the fully vaccinated in a bid to both encourage Bahamians to take the COVID shot and to attract more tourists. Kyle Joaquin explains.
Once they have received the second dose vaccine, or they have met the vaccination requirement, they do not need any further testing to move about through our Bahamaland.
The Prime Minister calling off a list of privileges that we once had pre-COVID, but now for those fully vaccinated. The $100 plus fee for RT-PCR tests, in addition to the travel health visa, has been a pain for many traveling from New Providence, but Minister revealing that those days will now be behind everyone who has gotten their second jab. And for those looking to enter the Bahamas, here's what takes effect May 1st.
Effective 1st of May, those traveling to the Bahamas from outside of the country will be exempted from a COVID-19 test if they are fully vaccinated and have passed the 2-week immunity period.
Those not fully vaccinated must still present a negative result for a COVID-19 test. And after a year of being forced to only drive through or eat outdoors, indoor dining is making a return, but only for those fully vaccinated.
Once individuals are fully vaccinated, individuals can participate in a closed environment. Once all within the closed environment are fully vaccinated, then the mask would not be necessary.
Situations that were able to occur pre-COVID, and how vaccinated persons would be able to begin preparations.
Those like myself who participate in Junkanoo, once we are all vaccinated, we can work within the Junkanoo shacks among us all vaccinated individuals.
But the country remains smack in the middle of a third wave. While he didn't announce any tighter restrictions, Minister advised that there will be stricter enforcement of protocols.
We've been that road before, Mr. Speaker, and we have overcome. We know what to do, we have done it, and we will do it again.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Well, as vaccinated people can still transmit the virus, the Consultant Physician Staff Association is warning government against removing testing requirements for those persons. Bethany McDermott has that.
The decision to remove testing requirements for fully vaccinated travelers moving about the Bahamas isn't sitting well with CPSA president who questioned why the requirements for international travelers differ from domestic. Addressing Parliament Wednesday morning, the Prime Minister said effective May 1st, travelers entering the Bahamas will be exempted from taking a COVID-19 RT-PCR test if they are fully vaccinated and have passed the 2-week immunity period. However, domestically, a fully vaccinated person is free from testing requirements immediately after the second shot.
And then why does it, if that is the recommendation that's made by that
body that we're also leading to as it relates to international travel. Why would the same not apply to domestic travel? I'm not certain why the same wouldn't hold. We're still human beings being vaccinated and traveling through different islands. I don't know if it would make a difference because it's international versus domestic.
On Tuesday, health officials attributed the recent surge in COVID-19 cases to international travel and relaxed adherence. Given the onset of the third wave of COVID-19 and the reality that there is still a possibility that COVID-19 can be transmitted in vaccinated persons, she advised against removing testing requirements.
And we also know that from the data, a lot of that has come from international travel. I think that we have to certainly weigh that as a very heavy player when we make these types of processes related to travel and testing.
According to the Center for Disease Control, individuals are considered fully vaccinated 2 weeks after their second dose in a 2-dose series with vaccines such as Pfizer or Moderna, or 2 weeks after a single-dose vaccine like Johnson & Johnson. But according to Dr. Minnis, that won't be the case here.
So I think that with the timeline that perhaps allows for persons' bodies' response, their immune response to be as efficient as it would be related to any transmission and that sort of thing. I think it's something that we should consider as to why it is that the CDC would make that recommendation.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Berthany McDermott.
The Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Association is applauding government's removal of COVID testing requirements for vaccinated travelers into and throughout this country, calling it very good news for the economy. BHTA President Robert Sands says the move will positively impact visitor arrivals to the Bahamas, help Bahamians, and save residents and visitors the sometimes prohibitive cost of RT-PCR tests for inter-island travel. But despite the easing of those restrictions, some Bahamians are still not sold on the idea of taking the vaccine. Jared Higgs hit the streets to find out whether the incentive of easier travel will change any minds.
I'd rather take my COVID test every week. I'm fine with that.
Some skeptical Bahamians offered indifferent reactions to incentives for fully vaccinated individuals announced by the Prime Minister. 37-year-old Yvette John says it won't make her change her position.
Especially because why they giving away something just to give people this vaccine? It's supposed to be a matter of choice.
More than 22,000 Bahamians have received their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, but widespread vaccine mistrust means many vaccine centers still have supplies left, despite the country having a limited amount of vaccines in the first place. The incentives for fully vaccinated individuals announced by the Prime Minister include being able to travel without the testing requirement and permission to dine indoors. Despite those perks, John, who's been out of work more than a year, says it's still a no.
Y'all already added more towards the ticket. Now, because I take the vaccine, it's okay for me to travel, so it sounds a little fishy. It's a bit weird.
But not everybody sees things that way. Cameron Reckley is a banker, and while he hasn't gotten his first dose yet, he's on board with taking the vaccine. Why do you think people aren't willing to take it?
I think for fear, lack of knowledge. Most persons, they read what they listen to on social media and all that. They normally don't pay attention to the experts, but
Reckley says the incentives laid out are a good idea.
Also encourages us to, hey, take the vaccine. It eases the burden, especially of travel. We want to eat into that. So the incentives the Prime Minister made, I think it's a good thing that he did.
But Reckley looks to still be in the minority. A woman we spoke to says she isn't eligible for the jab because of her pregnancy. Even then, she says she would be cautious about getting the shot.
I think it would encourage others to get vaccinated, because a lot of Bahamians are wanting the vaccination to travel. That's the biggest concern right now. Everybody wants to go away. And but for my part, it still would not encourage me to get it, because I'm not fully sure of the effects of it. Later down, next 3 years or whatever, if you've been impacted by the vaccination of 2021, you're now entitled to compensation.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Jared Higgs.
Stay with us. There's more news after the break.
When you testify in court, you're expected to tell the truth. Same goes for your insurance application form. If you don't answer every question truthfully, you could be found guilty of misrepresentation. Leaving out just one piece of information on your insurance application can lead to misrepresentation. That means your insurance company could deny your policy or refuse to pay your claim. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas, protecting the interests of policyholders.
I bank wherever I want thanks to Scotia Online and Mobile. Garden, I bank from my living room. I also bank from my kitchen. No need to wait in line. Now when I bank with Scotia, I bank on my own time. Seniors, you too can bank your way any time of day without ever going into a branch. Find out more. To get started, visit bs.scotiabank.com/digital seniors.
Introducing the new Slices and Sticks from Little Caesars, an unexpected combination. 4 slices of pepperoni pizza, 8 Italian cheese sticks, and 1 crazy sauce, only for $9. Didn't expect that one, right? Grab the new Slices and Sticks at Little Caesars Oaksfield, Carmichael Road, or East Street South in the Pineapple Plaza. That's 4 slices of pepperoni pizza, 8 Italian cheese sticks, and 1 crazy sauce, all for only $9, and only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
Better say, Lumpkin, you ever hear about the Fountain of Youth? I say, of course, but you not been there, right? How you know? He said, now, man, listen, I got the tile version of the Fountain of Youth for your house. It's called the Luton Poiler Gloss Ceramic. It's 24 by 24, it's white with gray veining. This tile can make your house look 20 years younger. Not only that, say you only want to do a little room, say like a foyer or a 10 by 10. You could buy enough tiles for that for only $239 before what? The Luton Poiler Gloss Ceramic Tile at Pender Tile.
When I had got prostate cancer, my family didn't know at Cancer Treatment Centers of America. Within days, I got an appointment. They presented me with treatment options, and we set up a robotic prostatectomy. When my scans came back, there are no signs of cancer. They don't see you as a number, they see you as a part of the family. I'm going on with my life. It's a real gift.
Call us at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
Your big day coming, what you want?
I know, but you all seem too far behind, eh? Anyhow, I want you to give me washing machine.
Washing machine? What you want washing machine for?
Well, since Junior working on the island now and 3 people got to use your car, I figure we could wash right here.
You got line, eh?
Not yet.
And if you wash here, what we can talk about?
That's true.
If you wash here, how we can catch capsaicin?
That's true, eh?
And if you ain't got no line, how we post to drying if you wash here?
That's true.
Okay, so what you want Junior get you again?
$1,600 worth of token. How much the washing machine costs?
Now you're talking, and I'll reserve the car for every Saturday.
Gone for that. So what you want for your big day?
Half of them token.
My lord.
So we wash. We washes you, cleans you, presses you 24/7.
The Bahamas Development Bank will be hosting a town hall meeting this Thursday, April 22nd at 5:30 at Christ the King Anglican Parish. Come and find out ways to access financing for your business through loans, leases, and special projects. Also, a special invitation is extended to residents of the Angliston community, as details for a grant made especially for Angliston will be announced. Space is limited, and COVID-19 protocols will be enforced. Visit the Bahamas Development Bank's Facebook page for more information.
Welcome back. Potter's Key vendors who lost their businesses to fire 2 weeks ago are now calling on government to speed up assistance to help them get back to work. Julian Gray has an update.
After 40 years on the dock, Matthew Roll now finds himself starting from scratch. As if the pandemic wasn't enough to throw a wrench in his business plans, Roll says the recent fire on Potter's Key dock has landed him back at square one after only being open for a month.
The first lockdown knocked me out. That knocked me out of the race. So I decided not to open up until COVID was over, but I came in because I broke and everything I had to work. 4 weeks ago, I came back to work. And this happened, so that just sank me deeper.
For Marvin Cartwright of Forbes Conch Salon and Bar, the past 2 weeks have not been easy, but he says he's not giving up.
I've been making it, we still have some conchs in the water and other stuff, so we still kind of doing just what we have to, just to get by.
For 2 decades, Dwayne Bastian, also known as Tallboy, has operated Potter's Key Dock. He's worried about the dozens of workers now at home with no income, not to mention their employers who are struggling to rebuild. While he says he's grateful for the help from various political and civic organizations with the cleanup process, it's the mounting bills that they need help with.
No one is working right now. I have 8 stalls out of work, and no one coming down here to find out, like, hey, you all have food, you all good. You understand what I'm saying? I think that's really bad on the government behalf.
Now, vendors say officials have suggested that they move to these trailers temporarily, but to them, that sounds like moving from a bad to a worse situation. What they really want is to rebuild their stalls in the soonest possible time, and they say to do that, they need partnership with the government.
They actually move out. So if it wasn't good for them to work in it, then it ain't gonna be good for us to work inside it. And then you have the place in the back there would actually sell all the chemicals and stuff like that. And I don't think food and chemical not gonna be able to mix. Everybody has dragging their feet. This ain't nothing drag of feet time. This right here now, we had this major fire and we need help.
Bastian says they plan to build back better so that the stalls can be insured. For the Guardian News Network, I'm Jillian Gray.
That's going to do it for local news. Stay with us. AP News is next.
Gran, it was good to see you, but we've got to get home.
Yep, we've got to let the dog out.
Speaking of dogs, you won't believe who I saw the other day. Who?
Honey.
Remember Anton, Jeanette's oldest boy, the one with the dogs?
With local claims managers, we pay your motor claims fast. We're like a goodbye at your granny's that doesn't take 30 minutes.
We really got to get going.
So soon?
CG Atlantic Agents. Insurance, health, pensions, life. Good like that. Nassau Insurance Brokers and Agents Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Agents.
At Apex Award Signs and Engraving, the name says the country's trusted name for trophies, plaques, corporate seals, rubber stamps, badges, bumper stickers, traffic and street signs, keychains, t-shirts, interior signs, restaurant menus, and so much more. Apex Award Signs and Engraving, number 128 Mount Royal Avenue in Wilton Street. Open 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and 9 to 1 on Saturdays. Visit the website at apexawardsbahamas.com. Apex Award Signs and Engraving, number 1 in the Bahamas.
At Master Technicians, we have what your family traditions need, starting with industry-best refrigerators, ranges, and ovens. We also carry Whirlpool washer and dryers, dishwashers and freezers, leading KitchenAid countertop appliances, blenders, microwaves, juicers, kettles, and KitchenAid stand mixers. We even do free delivery in New Providence or to the boat of your choice. Whether you're doing the laundry, creating new memories in the kitchen, or spending family time in front of the television, Master Technicians Limited, keeping family traditions alive for more than 50 years.
Reggie gone to Sunrise one day and tell Miss Wallace, I need a band for my watch, please. Miss Wallace say, Reginald, do have a seat and we'll be with you in a minute. He say, well, you just suffer from this too. She say, suffer from what? He say, this. She say, oh, that. Well, I tries to tailor make my services them to fit the needs of all of my customers. Reggie get excited. He say, that's amazing. I get a couple of more watches. I can bring them to you to more. She say, more. He say, yeah. She say, Reggie, I'll be here from 9 o'clock in the morning.
Sun Isles Watch and Clock, number 112 Montrose Avenue. Watch and clock sales and repairs for over 40 years.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's French for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Following a recipe or creating something new, find your ingredients at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Devon corned beef, 12-ounce can, $2.39. Bassiette macaroni and cheese, 7 1/4-ounce box, 2 for $1.50. Rainbow tuna, 5-ounce can, 69 cents. Sweet cantaloupes, $1.99 each. Center cut pork chops, $2.59 per pound. Open Monday through Saturdays, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Double stamps on Sundays. Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Jada, jump in the car. Hey girl, your new ride looking good. Y'all, it was rough. No one wanted to insure me as a new driver, and cause I young. Thank goodness Jason told me about Shield Insurance right there across from the police college on Thompson Boulevard. Shield hooked me up with one solid policy at a decent price, minus the shade. Them other companies was joking.
Well, I'm glad you get straight. Call Shield Insurance in Nassau or Freeport. They've got you covered.
Shield Insurance Agents and Brokers.
The digital transformation is here. As a business owner, you now face the choice between innovation and extinction, but you don't have to get left behind. Join the click with Cable Bahamas Business Solutions and transform your office to get the competitive advantage. With innovative solutions like our fixed and mobile services, hosted PBX, Bahamas Cloud, and more, you can redefine your business. For more information on how you can join the click, contact the experts at Business Solutions at cablebahamas.com.
This traffic report brought to you by
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:20, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening. We've got two frontal boundaries that are going to merge across the northwest Bahamas, while high pressure will weaken over the remaining islands. Mariners should be alert for possible waterspout activity in showers and thunderstorms today. Your forecast for the northwest Bahamas today, partly cloudy to cloudy, hot, humid, and hazy, with scattered thunderstorms. For the central southeast Bahamas, partly sunny, humid, hot, and hazy with a passing shower. 79 degrees right now in Nassau. Look for highs getting up to around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. In your extended outlook, that cold front is going to drift into the central Bahamas, where it will weaken and dissipate on Friday as high pressure and fresh breezes will build across the islands on Saturday. Not going to cool things down much, but it might be a little more comfortable over the next few days. So for Friday, tomorrow, partly cloudy, warm, and breezy, with mainly in the northwest Bahamas, with isolated showers or a thunderstorm near the front in the central Bahamas, mostly sunny and warm in the southeastern islands. Saturday, partly and mostly sunny, hot and breezy, with an isolated shower or two. That's your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. What's first for you comes first for us.
Yeah.
8:22, time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. And it's looking pretty busy out there this morning. Heavy traffic in a number of the hot spots, the usual hot spots this morning. We've got Independence Drive, heavy traffic in both directions, eastbound and westbound. Eastbound towards the East Street roundabout, East-West Highway roundabout, and westbound towards Blue Hill Road and the roundabout there, Blue Hill Road. Also, as usual, at this hour, heavy traffic northbound, heading towards that roundabout just north of Soldier Road, and further down nearer to Carmichael Road and to St. Vincent Road. You're seeing heavy traffic there. Carmichael seeing building traffic eastbound to Blue Hill Road. Samara Butler Highway, heavy traffic as well. Northbound lanes heading towards Tonic Williams Darling Highway. That traffic is going to start from south of Fire Trail this morning, heading northbound. And Gladstone Road also looking busy, very busy in northbound lane closer to John F. Kennedy Drive and the roundabout there. Elsewhere, we've got Eastern Road, heavy traffic westbound, heavy traffic on Bernard Road westbound, and pockets along Prince Charles Drive, mainly westbound, and at major intersections there. Elsewhere, Soldier Road looking busy just north of Robinson Road and heading towards the intersection with Bernard Road, Wolf Road, Village Road, and Marathon Road also busy this morning, northbound lanes mainly. Those are your hottest spots. That's your real-time traffic. And your Morning Blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC Royal Bank.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Oh, yeah. All right. My beautiful islands. I tell you, if the good Lord never goes on holiday, tell me why he made the Bahamas. If the good Lord never used to come this way, tell me why he made these islands. All the sun, all the peace, all the skies, all the breeze, all the breeze, all the hills, all the sand, all the trees. Oh, tell me why. Tell me why.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. It is Earth Day 2021, and we are talking about our environment here in the Bahamas this morning with the Bahamas National Trust. Very pleased to have with us Anna Bancroft and Eric Carey. Good morning. Great to have you with us.
Good morning, Dwight. Great to be back on your show. Happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day. Always a pleasure.
Morning, Dwight. You had us this time last year on this very same day, so appreciate you having us back, and happy birthday to you and Mrs. Gardner.
Oh, okay. Yes. It's been the anniversary, 9 years. Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. So we're going to talk about what's happening. Let's talk about environmental stewardship in the Bahamas in general. I'm sure you all hear it. Almost every week in this country, almost every week on the radio, someone will, for some reason, make reference in a negative way about the protection that we've done for the animals, for the sharks, but yet the humans. That happens a lot. Why do you think that is the case here, where so many of us see it's as an us humans against them in the Bahamas when it comes to protecting our environment?
Dwight, I'll take a stab at that. And it's a very good point that people do make, because they do see environmental activists really protecting, a lot of nature. And, the reality is that nature needs help. So we end up focusing on those species, those ecosystems that are in trouble because of the actions of man. But, what we have to remember and realize is that all of the work that we do in the environmental community, protecting these systems, is to benefit people. We manage national parks, we protect species to restore systems so we can have fish to catch and eat. So we do these things for people. We don't do it for the animal per se without thinking about the entirety of our system. We are part of a planet that needs everything to work together. And the more we protect nature, the more nature will protect and help to replenish and provide our needs.
Do you think, Mr. Carey or Ms. Bancroft, it's a situation where it's a lack of education. People don't understand how everything in the environment is connected, and we have a responsibility here, just even for our own survival, to protect our environment, to protect our marine life, because they don't really understand the connection.
Anna, you want to take that, or I could take a stab at it? I would say there is generally not enough awareness. I mean, organizations like the Bahamas National Trust and so many other environmental organizations do a lot to try and provide and create awareness, but it's difficult because you have to overcome people's stereotypes of the environment, people's levels of comfort. A lot of people don't see conchs disappearing. They still see a lot of conch on Arawaki. They still see conch videos circulating, which appear to be plentiful. So they don't get the full picture. But the reality is, yes, we need to do more awareness, not only in NGOs, but government also needs to do more awareness so that people and the citizenry better understanding of exactly what is happening to our planet.
Yeah. So, what would you say are some of the most pressing issues facing the environment at this time in the Bahamas?
So obviously we still have fisheries that are in trouble. You know, Nassau Group is not out of the woods. Conch is in trouble. Sharks, yeah, we protected sharks to be part of an important ecosystem, but sharks are still in problem. You know, forests are being destroyed for charcoal. So there's still a lot of pressure on the environment, and then you have the looming threat of major development. Obviously, oil is still kicked about as something somebody wants to start some crazy thing that someone wants to start in our country. So those are the pressures on the environment, and people need to exist. People need to build houses. People need to create farms. People need to fish. So they provide our needs as humans create the pressures on the environment. So generally, just like the world, basically, we consume too much of our planet, and we basically put too much pressure on it. The islands of the Bahamas, we're fortunate that we have a relatively small population, but we are not exempt from the major challenge, which is, of course, climate change, which is going to affect not only the Bahamas, but globally. So climate change is something that must be in the mind of every right-thinking Bahamian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. You talked about the consumption rates here, and this is related to what Laverne was asking, though. But the message, is it really reaching? Is it resonating with people? We were talking about this yesterday in the office about the portions that people are serving when it comes to conch. Even though we talk about it, how scarce it is in some places, but portions seem to be larger than when we were younger. What's happening there? Why are we seeing this? Why aren't we adjusting our behaviors?
Because change is hard, Dwight. The reality is that if we started to act for most species and most systems, you're right, we're not getting the message. Because if we got the message at the time that we started to see declines in fishery, the decline in ocean health, decline in forest, if we got the message early, we acted early, we would have arrested the problem. The problem is that as human beings, when something starts to get in problems, that doesn't automatically trigger a behavioral change, which is why environmentalists are so committed, because we know we have to try and influence change despite human nature to just consume, eat. So people don't slow down just because something is in problems, which is why you have to put in the conservation measures, because people are not going to just naturally stop eating conch because we say it's endangered. This is why some degree of protection, and then you have to educate people so that they understand why you're protecting it. But human beings don't stop eating something just it's starting to get scarce. We will exert more energy. We will invent more, better methodologies, use more technology. We will get bigger boats, and we will do what it needs to get more fish, even though we're wiping out the areas where it was hard to change.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Remember this, Laverne, we talked about on the show last year when an MP brought up concerns from fishermen about sharks and the growing numbers that we're seeing, and how for financial purposes we should look at allowing a little bit of shark harvesting, I guess it was, or capturing of sharks. And we know there was outrage by the environmentalists on this, but is money still the number one driving force in terms of how well we protect our environment here?
Absolutely. Global commerce, whether it's fisheries or restaurants or whatever, or human consumption, It's about business. People make money off of fish. People make money off of shark fins. People make money off of so much that is harvested from Mother Earth. So yes, it is money driven. And whenever you attempt when you try to do something which is going to negatively impact global commerce, of course there's going to be a pushback. You know, when you say to fishermen you have to curtail certain behaviors, oftentimes they only think about the pocket, that they may not be able to make as much money every day of the year. So yes, Dwight, a lot of it is influenced by the economy, but what our objective is to try and get people to understand that the very countries and the reason why you have an economy, whether it's for global fisheries, large scale or small scale, it's because you protect the environment. If you do not protect the environment, species will continue to go extinct and there will be no business. You will not have cod. As we know, cod is commercially extinct in a lot of places, as much cod as they had in Canada. But they didn't protect it. That industry went to hell. And the people that fought it were people who were making the millions and millions of dollars off of it because they felt that the environmentalists were just trying to stop money from going in their pocket.
Well, you mentioned earlier oil. We know you've had a lot to say about that. But let's talk about that. And some people just still were criticizing you, criticizing others who've spoken out about it. Like, what's the big deal? This could be a game changer for the economy. A lot more people could benefit financially from this. What do you say to folks who still don't get how detrimental even a tiny mishap could be?
Right. So we know that we get $8 billion, an estimated $8 billion in value from the environment, the marine environment right now. That's tourism, that's clean beaches, that's clean ocean, that's fishing, that's fly fishing. We know what we're harvesting. We know what we're getting in the bank every year. If, oil, maybe there's a potential for some economic benefit, but there are two aspects of it. One, you can have an incident, an accident, which could destroy our entire fishery. We could destroy our entire tourism product. That's the first thing. Secondly, we will become contributors to climate change. The number one contributor to climate change is, Earth and temperatures. That is fueled by fossil fuels, excuse the pun. And so why should we as a nation, one of the most vulnerable on the planet to the effects of climate change and sea level rise and violent storms like Dorian, why should we now become a producer of oil and start contributing to the problem that is our existential threat to our islands and to our country? Doesn't make sense.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about the work of the BNT and more on what needs to be done here and how we're going to celebrate Earth Day in the Bahamas as well. We're going to get to that after the break. This is Morning Blend on Earth Day here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
All right, my beautiful islands.
It was good to see you, but we've got to get home.
Yep, we've got to let the dog out.
Speaking of dogs, you won't believe who I saw the other day.
Who?
Honey.
Remember Anton, Jeanette's oldest boy? The one with the dogs.
With local claims managers, we pay your motor claims fast. We're like a goodbye at your granny's that doesn't take 30 minutes.
We really got to get going.
So soon?
CG Atlantic Agents. Insurance, health, pensions, life. Good like that. Nassau Insurance Brokers and Agents Limited, trading as
Roaming just got easier. Say hello to more with our new Liberty Prime plan. With more minutes, more texts, and more data to do the things you love right here at home and even when you travel. With the all-new Liberty Prime, Liberty Premium, and Liberty Elite, you've got one less worry. Roam again. Alive. Believe in best.
Believe in best.
The Department of Environmental Health Services and the Ministry of Environment is proud to present the Enviro Bahamas app, an app designed to cut down on the wait time of non-collection, swift removal of hazardous items, old furniture, appliances, and the eyesore of community pileup. Skip the call-in hotlines. Get straight to the source. Search Enviro Bahamas in the Google Play Store. Get rid of the crap. Download the app today.
The best place to get a new iPhone is at BTC. Make the iPhone 12 mini yours for just $199. That's big savings to go with our sweet postpaid value of unlimited local calls, international minutes, roaming data and minutes, plus all the data you need. Stream, share, and stay connected on the best LTE network when you switch to BTC. Visit a store to sign up today and get the iPhone 12 mini for just $199. Conditions apply.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAO, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAO.
Imagine. That's where every advancement begins, with an idea that things can be different, better. Now, imagine a world where your entertainment experience was all about you, your style, your show, at your budget. At Rev, that's what we've imagined. To join the conversation and learn more about the future of Rev TV, visit us at rev.bs/imagine.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Cash is what we have been using for generations, but it's no longer the only way to pay or receive money. That is great news for business owners. Mizik, Managing Director at RBC Royal Bank, encouraging you to find out how going cashless can benefit your business with faster transactions and settlements, better cash flow management, plus reduce risk of theft. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean/go cashless. RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happy.
We're back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9 on this Earth Day. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. We are talking with Anna Bancroft and Eric Carey with the Bahamas National Trust, BNT. We've got a few questions coming in, and you can continue to text us and call us, folks. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Here is a question on our text line. Is there anything the BNT can do to stop the cleanups that politicians are doing ahead of the election that... I'm not aware of any of that, but is that happening? Are you aware of that? And is there anything the BNT can do about
that? Dwight, basically what happens, we look at a lot and we see Bush and neighbors complain that there's bush, and so what happens is people go in and they just take a tractor and they clear it out. So unfortunately, what they're trying to do is remove bush that people think, and because what happens is, in addition to the bush on a vacant lot, people start to put trash there. So instead of going in and surgically removing the trash and leaving the trees, the easiest way to do it is to get a tractor and go clear it out. So yes, I would like to see a behavior change in that, and maybe that is something that we could work on with members of parliament, so that they could be more selective in how they clear these properties.
Yeah. I know we've talked about it before in the past, but let's do that again today. Lots of people will call the BNT. They'll say, you all need to deal with this, but it might not come under you. But let's talk about what specifically the BNT is responsible for, what you all do, what is under your purview.
So the Bahamas National Trust is the mandated manager of the national park system in the Bahamas. That is why we were created as a statutory non-government organization to manage the national parks. That's our primary function. We also are statutorily an advisor to government. So we do give government advice on the type of legislation that's needed, policies that need to be created. We also do advocacy for against things like destructive practices like oil, against unsustainable development. We are advocates for the protection of sea turtles and conch and Nassau grouper, etc. So, and we also do environmental education. Those are the four things that we mainly focus on as an organization. And we are a membership-based organization, so we encourage people to take out memberships and become part of the BNT.
Do you think it's possible, or you can let me know if you already do, to partner with the government to kind of get the message, the education of how important the environment is and sustaining this environment is, to get it in at the school level? So now what we're creating are people who are conscious they are at a young age of how important it is to protect this environment. And so then that will breed a certain kind of behavior, because it is difficult to change behavior once it is set in. It can be done, but it's just more difficult. But I'm thinking if we can grab our children at this age so that this is a part of them now, it'll be more beneficial to the environment in the future. Yeah. And then children tend to influence, can be an influence on the behavior of their parents.
Yeah, so environmental education, we spend a lot of time and effort on environmental education and outreach. We have youth environment programs. We have an award-winning program called Discovery Club that's been in the school system for 25 years. So we do our environmental education in the school systems with clubs working with teachers and students. We also work closely with the Ministry of Education, and our education department has worked closely with the ministry on producing resources for teachers, Treasures of the Sea, comprehensive tools that teachers can use to teach about the environment. We're currently working with funding from Sandals on developing curriculum for the Ministry of Education. So yes, we partner closely with the Ministry of Education. You're so right. We have to get people while they're young, and we've been doing that for 25 years. And so we have people who are now doctors and lawyers, engineers, etc., who came through our system of Discovery Club, who are now influencing environmental policy. So yes, environmental education, we spend a lot of time, effort, and money in getting the word out about how important our environment is and why we need to protect it, and more importantly, how you as a student and your parent can become or should become an environmental steward.
Is it sticking? Are you seeing that what these children learn at that age group, it stays with them when they get older?
Absolutely. I mean, I run into people, Dwight, who went through our Discovery Club program 10, 15 years ago. That still sticks with them. So yes, they were influenced positively. Does everybody become an environmental giant or environmental activist? Not necessarily, and that's not the point. The point is to raise awareness so that generally people make better decisions about what they do to try and positively influence the environment in a lot of small ways. So yes, I think our programs are very effective. The feedback we get from the students, from the schools, from the public is very effective. And we see the results of that in these people being converted to BNT members and supporters of our work generally.
Yeah. Before we get back into more of what the BNT is doing, let's talk about maybe from the government's perspective, some things that you would like to see maybe in law guiding environmental stewardship going forward. I know there's been concerns about the way, especially with Lighthouse Point in Disney, the way how EIAs are done. I think recently we saw claims that what has been part of their EIA would not be acceptable in most other places. Do we need to have these standards clearly set out, and what else can the government do in that regard?
Ramon Ferreira, Minister Ferreira is not just a minister willy-nilly. Ramon Ferreira is an environmental attorney. He's well schooled in environmental law. What Minister Ferreira pushed through in recent times, last year, is very progressive environmental education. We now have a Department of Environmental Planning. We have an Environmental Planning and Protection Act. We have very robust guidelines for environmental impact assessments, etc. We believe that we have now some of the best environmental legislation in the region. And, we have some issues, I think, in some areas that still need some work. But for what we're talking about with creating environmental impact assessments and the process of reviewing them, etc., that is well enshrined in law. And we believe that the government has done a good job there. Where everybody falls down is in enforcement. So where we need to do a better job for all of our environmental regulations is we need to do a better job of enforcement. So if there's something that government should do better, it should be creating a better enforcement regime so that people know that if you break a law, whether you are an individual or a company, if you break the law, that there are consequences. Currently, people do so many things, disrespect the environment, cutting down trees, fishing out of season, doing all sorts of things that are against the law, but there's no enforcement. That is where we need to pick up on. We don't need more laws per se.
Wow.
We have some pretty good solid legislation. And I know Minister Ferreira has been on your show. Director Newbold has been on your show. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's where the deficiencies are. It's making sure that we're enforcing the laws that we've created.
Well, we know that this has been an exciting time for the BNT, big anniversary last year, and you've got a new logo. Let's talk about that and what the future holds for the Bahamas National Trust.
Yeah, thanks, Dwight. This is a really exciting time in the BNT. As you mentioned, we celebrated our 60th anniversary just over a year ago, and we have been undertaking a brand evolution really for the past 2 years. It's been a prudent exercise. Lots of thought, lots of consideration went into this. We really wanted to make sure that when we launched a new look and a new logo, that we were celebrating the past and our conservation successes over the past 60 years, and hoping to introduce something that invigorates youth audiences, that gets people excited to join this environmental movement, to become a BNT member, to make a contribution to your community, to the environment, or to this organization. So the new logo really is reflective of the transition, looking towards the future, a bright future, and really representing our marine and terrestrial national parks. It's abstract. It's very different from what everyone has come to know and expect of the BNT, that very, the crest logo, as we often call it. And this logo, we hope, is experiential in different ways. There's gradiated light at the top. There's 3 main colors that have transitioned from the logo: the green representing terrestrial national parks, the blue representing marine national parks. And then the pop of pink really speaking towards our tropical bio-successes, as I said, like, flamingo feathers and conch shells being represented here. We have what we call the crowning jewels of the Bahamas, our natural treasures, our national parks and our national resources. We've fully adopted the BNT acronym as well here. After many, many years of shortening our name and wanting to be responsive and flexible and accountable, we are BNT, and this new logo really represents that. We're excited. We really are looking forward to it providing an opportunity for people to look again, for us to retell our story, for us to engage youth audiences, and get people really excited about the future of the environment and the future of the Bahamas National Trust.
What impact did 2020, that pandemic that we're still in, have? I know some of your very popular events, we weren't able to attend them last year, but they're also major fundraisers, is that right? What impact did that have on the BNT?
It had a tremendous impact. I mean, I'm certain 2020 impacted absolutely everybody, but uniquely to the Bahamas National Trust, as a nonprofit organization, as a non-governmental organization where we rely on funding. And, we try to be sustainably financed where possible and through many different funding mechanisms, whether that's park visitation. When parks are closed and people don't have access to nature, we don't have the opportunity to invite people into their parks, to receive an entrance fee, to, turn a profit on a piece of merchandise, for example, or an item that's being sold in one of our visitor centers. Obviously our physical in-person events that everybody looks forward to. These events have been around for 20 plus years, speaking about Wine and Art or Jollification or Festival Noel in Grand Bahama. All of those went virtual this past year, and it had a significant impact on our finances. Of course, people often take the opportunity to renew membership around these events. There are lots of perks to BNT membership, starting at just $30 a year for individuals or $50 a year for families. People would enjoy the perks of a members only event or evening, or access to national parks for free anytime you show up to one. And unfortunately, that did result in a major downturn in our membership. We at one time had 3,600 active members, and after the pandemic, or really not after, we're still very much in it. Right. But after 2020, more than 1,100 individuals did not renew their BNT membership. So it had a significant impact on us there, and that's something that we're hoping to reinvigorate as well as we retell our story and get people really excited about returning to the environment and returning to nature, because we all need it. We've been locked up for a long time. We have had limited access to natural spaces, and we know how important they are to human health. So those are some of the perks of membership. And we just hope to invite people into their national parks, even beginning this Saturday with our...
Okay, tell us more about that.
Yeah, so as today is Earth Day, we often call this Earth Week because it's such a significant week for us. Today is a very significant day. There's lots going on and lots happening. But at the end of Earth Week, the Bahamas National Trust has a National Parks Day. And so this Saturday, April 24th, we are inviting individuals to attend their national park for free entrance.
Do we lose them? Is there anything? Yep. Oh boy. Okay. Can we get them back? Nope. Oh, that was just gonna get good there to find out about Saturday, what's happening there. And Laverne as well, everybody, all Zoom. This is how it's been, folks. My goodness. And we're running out of time as well. Oh, boy. Okay, so I think she was going to say Saturday. They're having National Parks Day and free entrance for everybody there. But contact the BNT for more information about that, and you can find them on Facebook or Twitter and on their website as well. Just Google BNT Bahamas National Trust. And but we want to thank Eric Carey and Anna Bancroft for a great discussion this morning, and happy Earth Day to them. We're going to try to reconnect with Laverne after the news for Morning Blend Business. And coming up in Morning Blend Business, we continue with Financial Literacy Month, and we'll be talking about budgeting and essential financial skills, including saving. That's coming up in Morning Blend Business in just a few minutes. But again, I want to thank Eric Carey and Anna Bancroft. Again, BNT Bahamas, look them up. And happy Earth Day to everybody. Everybody. Let's take the break. Let's go to the news and be back with more. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here. You can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Well, give me all you got, don't hold it back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Hey, go. Bring me down. Can't none bring me down. The love is too high. Bring me down. Can't none bring me down. I said, bring me down. Can't none bring me down. The love is too high. Bring me down. Can't none bring me down. I said, because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Hey, go. Bring me down. Can't none bring me down. The love is too high. Bring me down. Can't none bring me down. I said, because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Hey, hey, hey. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is the Guardian News Network update on the hour. Hello, everyone. I'm Charlene Ferguson. Calling it very good news for the economy, the Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Association yesterday threw its support behind government's decision to drop COVID testing requirements for fully vaccinated travelers entering the country and those traveling inter-island. BHTA President Robert Sands says the move will positively impact visitor arrivals to this country and help Bahamians better support local tourism. He added it would also save vaccinated residents and visitors the sometimes prohibitive cost of RT-PCR tests for inter-island travel. While the potential for vaccinated persons to still infect others has the Consultant Physician Staff Association voicing concern about dropping those testing requirements for travelers, President Dr. Sabrika Pinda-Butler advised against the move, citing recent data which showed this third wave of infections was largely driven by travelers. She also questioned why the Prime Minister insists that fully vaccinated Bahamians can travel without testing immediately upon their second shot, while he requires international travelers to wait 2 weeks after they are fully vaccinated. She noted that lag time after the second dose is vital to ensure efficient immune protection. The Centers for Disease Control also indicates that people are only considered fully vaccinated 2 weeks after their second dose of vaccine. And more than a year and a half after Hurricane Dorian, Managing Director of the Disaster Reconstruction Authority, Catherine Forbes-Smith, says that repairs still need to be completed on 3,735 homes on Abaco and Grand Bahama. She said there remains a severe housing shortage in Grand Bahama, particularly for public offices and renters. Government had planned to set up 250 temporary dome homes on that island to help with demand, but officials say that effort has been slowed by issues with cost, materials, and contracting. That's what's making headlines at this hour. Stay with us. AP Update is next.
Beulah, gal, can you believe this? We are now the patrol queens of the neighborhood. We now large and in charge. So we need to check out what's going on in everybody's yard. What about that gun that we know that Junior and his homeboys just ran out? Can we report that too? Of course we can. But we could be in deep trouble if they find out. We need to report what we see, Beulah. When you call Crime Stoppers, they just answer your call in Miami. So then we can report everything? Guns, where they hiding the drugs, who shoot who part of which gang, or who disturbing the peace with the loud music and the motorcycles. Then our neighborhood will be the best in the Bahamas, and everybody go want to come live here. And then our house price will go up, gal. So what we waiting on? What's the number?
If you see something, say something. Let us all pitch in and stop the crime before it's your time. Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands. Or text us through the Crack Crime Bahamas app. Stop the crime before it's your time. This traffic report brought to you by Shield Insurance.
Want to look at traffic now? In the last 30 minutes has been a race against time for many of you. That's when it appears that the maximum amount of traffic hit the streets. And all over just got busy, creating backups and delays everywhere. Some already dissipating now at this hour, and some still have the resemblance of that heavy traffic flow hanging on. Those stuck within the gateways coming out of the southwest, well, it's been a difficult morning for you. And those still left in corridors, still trying to get out along Gladstone Road, just had this constant lineup for the past 90 minutes or so. Same thing happening on Samalabala Highway. Although it's lightened up a bit now, and even Carmichael Road exit to Blue Hill Road is a bit smoother. We'll slow down on top of the hill, and Blue Hill has shortened somewhat, but that traditionally is a busy run all day, merging traffic into that $20 million roundabout below. It's the remainder of the hour that really didn't show itself until late into the 8 o'clock hour, where it's still slow and clearing away on East Street South, getting through the roundabout at Independence Drive. Independence Drive itself, both the west lanes to Blue Hill Road and the east lanes coming into the East Street roundabout, you're still towing a line. Soldier Road traffic entering the Wolf and Bernard Road traffic light intersection, just inching through there. The Bernard Road side still very busy, getting into Bernard Road and leaving that intersection. The Eastern Road still with heavy traffic heading out there onto Shirley Street and through Blair. And in the west, you've got West Bay Street. Well, that's the best. Experiencing a moderate flow into the city at this hour. This National Traffic Report is a service of Dr. Danny Johnson and Associates at Foot and Ankle International, who offers the simplest and safest treatment for painful flat feet, bunions, hammer toes, sports medicine, and more. Visit Foot and Ankle International for relief. They're located Dean's Lane atop the hill at Fort Charlotte. Call them at 322-5402. That's 322-5402 for more info. With the Rider Sky look at traffic in real time, I'm VA Double N.
Hello, sir. Your credit card bill is due.
Hello, sir. It's time for your monthly loan payment. Tired of creditors pounding at your door? Sign up for a debt consolidation loan from Fidelity Bank and consolidate your debt into one low monthly payment. What's more, you'll also earn interest on a built-in savings account. The pandemic has curbed many freedoms, but at Fidelity, our focus is to help regain your financial freedom. Visit a branch or speak to Fidelity Bank at 356-7764. COVID safety measures in place at all branches. Fidelity, we're good for you.
I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. Demand for COVID shots is down in some parts of the country. AP Washington correspondent Sagar Meghani's got the latest on this.
Nearly half of Iowa's counties are not accepting new doses because there's not enough demand. Florida's Palm Beach County will close mass vaccination clinics next month with thousands of available slots unfilled. A West Virginia clinic is opening shots to out-of-state residents. President Biden's acknowledging the vaccination campaign's in a new phase, encouragement, saying the data's clear if you're fully vaccinated.
You are nearly 100% protected against death from COVID.
More than half of American adults are now at least partially vaccinated.
The president's opening a worldwide Earth Day summit today virtually with a pledge to cut at least in half the coal and petroleum fumes the U.S. pumps out. I'm Rita Foley.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL. Growing wealth for future generations.
Boy, why you look so mashed up like clothes at the washer?
No, boy, just a hard day, boy.
Hard day? What happened? The breakfast lady ran out of tuna and gritty.
We need to start joking about everything, you know. This serious, boy. This real serious, boy.
Boy, what's serious? Tell me.
All right, well, today, boss gave us, boy, one big contract. And nobody else get a chance and nobody say nothing.
Boy, you know that ain't right. You know government contracts ain't supposed to go that way.
Yeah, but nobody's saying nothing. Boss man just tell people to sign the papers. Then he send me to meet his boy downtown and collect this envelope.
You need to tell somebody. You need to become a whistleblower.
You know I's a real man, but I never blow no whistle. I be drunk all my life and junk, you know.
No way. A whistleblower is someone who tells people what they see when they see something wrong happening at work.
But I ain't no whistleblower, and I ain't no snitch. I still white there, you know.
But ain't nobody gonna know it's you. All you gotta do is call Crime Stoppers, or you could text them from inside the Crack Crime Bahamas app. They don't ask about you. And your call goes straight through to Miami, so nobody know you is. And if you text, your message get mixed up like Kong salad.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau, or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
For the past 33 years, Great Commission Ministries has been defending the poor and hurting, feeding the hungry, and sheltering the homeless. We invite you to support our Live to Give program and make a difference in these challenging times. Become a donor by giving a one-time annual gift or a monthly donation of $50 or $100. Call Great Commission Ministries at 325-5801 for more details. Or visit our headquarters at 237 Wolf Road. Join Live to Give today. This public service announcement is proudly sponsored by this radio station.
At a time when jobs are hard to find, crime is a concern, and Bahamians are uncertain about the future of the country, there is one paper you can rely on as your source of news and commentary. The Nassau Guardian delves deeper into the issues. We ask the tough questions. We tell your stories. If you haven't already, pick up a copy today. The Nassau Guardian. News and views that matter since 1844.
The new Guardian Radio app is here. Listen live to all our Guardian Radio shows and live video stream select programs in our studio. Get information about Guardian Radio shows and our hosts. Send messages, including text, email, and even call. All from our amazing new Guardian Radio app. Download it free today in your App Store for your Apple device or Play Store for your Android device. The all-new and improved Guardian Radio app.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Thursday, April 22nd, 2021. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Laverne Gardner is with us this morning. We are having some major internet issues, and we're trying to sort that out as we have all of our guests on Zoom, including Laverne this morning. But we hope to have that sorted out by the time we get to them. So keep your fingers crossed and say a little prayer for us this morning. But today on the show, we continue with Financial Literacy Month. It is Financial Literacy Month globally, and including here in the Bahamas. And today we've got part 3 of our 4-part series looking at financial literacy. We're going to be focusing on budgeting and essential financial skills, including savings. Big problem for so many of us. But we're going to talk about that this morning. That's coming up. But first, it's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. In your morning business report, Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Association President Robert Sands lauding the Prime Minister over his announcement that testing requirements would be lifted for fully vaccinated people traveling into the country and traveling within the Bahamas, insisting the move would open up further economic possibilities for the country. The Prime Minister making the announcement in the House of Assembly yesterday as he addressed concerns over the growing number of COVID cases in the country. Sands saying in a statement commenting on the Prime Minister's announcement that the Hotel and Tourism Association fully supports the move. He says, quote, as more and more individuals within source markets such as the U.S. get vaccinated, the removal of the requirement to have an RT-PCR test for fully vaccinated persons who want to travel after the stipulated 2-week period will have a decisive positive impact on visitor arrivals to the Bahamas. He says that the removal of the requirement for fully vaccinated people to attain an RT-PCR test for travel to and from certain family islands will also stimulate travel by locals, residents, and visitors who may have deemed the added cost of the viral test to be prohibitive to travel. He also commended the government's decision to mandate that even those who have been fully vaccinated continue to follow mask wearing and hand washing protocols in order to continue to mitigate the spread of the virus. Prime Minister Minnis clarifying on the floor of the House of Assembly that the government cannot change the mortgages of homeowners in the Fort Charlotte subdivision, Ardastra Estates 3, insisting that the homes were sold overpriced by the former government. The Prime Minister was answering claims that he would change the purchase price of homes already bought, but he explained that the government has adjusted the purchase price, the new purchase price, reducing it from the former $180,000 to $140,000. Former Attorney General Alfred Sayers, QC, recently demanded that the government provide promised rebates to residents of Ardastra Estates 3 for those inflated purchase prices, adding that the government must also provide remediation of mortgages with the Bahamas Mortgage Corporation. However, the Prime Minister insisting last week that he talked of lowering the price for future purchases within the area and not changing the mortgages of existing homeowners. Despite banks registering lower profitability, Central Bank Governor John Rawls says the challenges faced by the banking sector since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic are not cause for alarm. The most recent central bank report showing that bank profitability shrank 36.8% in 2020. Rawls says with approximately $145 million of such expected losses in 2020, the banking system is expected to emerge from the pandemic with levels of liquidity and capital that would still require moderation in the medium term. And Royal Caribbean International continues to extol the benefits to the Bahamas of home porting its ship at Nassau's cruise port, with the company explaining in a statement that the cruise line's guests will spend more time in New Providence with this new arrangement and therefore increase their spend in the country. Royal Caribbean Group Vice President for Government Relations, Americas, Russell Benford, saying that home porting will mean a boon for businesses in New Providence and Grand Bahama. RCI will be sailing its Adventure of the Seas ship from Nassau from June through mid-September. The company noting in its press statement yesterday that because the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention suspended cruise line operations, RCI brought into the Bahamas about $300 million annually through dockage fees, national insurance payments, staff salaries, and its private island contracts for tour operators, small businesses, suppliers, and vendors, ship agent fees, and government taxes. You can read more about this in today's Guardian Business section. Overseas, Procter & Gamble saying that it will boost prices on paper products later this year by 5 to 9% to combat rising commodity costs. The company disclosing its sales results benefited from previous increases as well as consumers trading up to premium products. Wall Street analysts predicted P&G would garner a $3.1 billion profit before one-time items on sales of $17.8 billion. But the price increases will apply to baby care products, feminine care, and adult incontinence products. And the exact amount of the price increases will vary by brand and sub-brand in the range of mid to high single-digit percentages and will go into effect by mid-September. Procter & Gamble reported a $3.3 billion profit on Tuesday, a 12.1% increase from the same period a year ago. Based in downtown Cincinnati, Procter & Gamble is the largest consumer products company in the world, responsible for making toiletries in consumers' pantries or medicine cabinets such as Pampers diapers, Crest toothpaste, and Gillette razors. The company employs 99,000 people worldwide, including 10,000 in Greater Cincinnati. And more from the U.S., the number of Americans applying for unemployment aid fell last week to 547,000, a new low since the pandemic struck, and a further encouraging sign that layoffs are slowing on the strength of an improving job market there. The Labor Department is saying today that applications declined 39,000 from a revised 586,000 a week earlier. Weekly jobless claims are down sharply from a peak of 900,000 in early January. At the same time, they're still far above the roughly 250,000 level that prevailed before the viral outbreak ripped through the economy in March of last year. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Wednesday, your market movers, Bahamas Waste Limited moving 1,000 shares, closing unchanged at $6.96. Cable Bahamas moving 1,500, down 24 cents to $3.25. Consolidated Water moving 1,800, unchanged at $2.90. J.S. Johnson moving 1,000, unchanged at $15.50. Consolidated Water down 3 cents, closing at $2.57. And Emira Incorporated up 17 cents, closing at $11.59. The BISX All Share Index closing at 1,948.00, down 4.22. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. You're listening to Morning Blend Business. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. We'll take a break and be back with more here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL. Growing wealth for future generations.
Boy, why you look so mashed up like clothes at the washer?
No, boy, just a hard day, boy.
Hard day? What happened? The breakfast lady ran out of tuna and gritty.
We need to start joking about everything, you know. This serious, boy. This real serious, boy.
Boy, what's serious? Tell me.
All right, well, today, boss gave us, boy, one big contract. And nobody else get a chance and nobody say nothing.
Boy, you know that ain't right. You know government contracts ain't supposed to go that way.
Yeah, but nobody's saying nothing. Boss man just tell people to sign the papers. Then he send me to meet his boy downtown and collect this envelope.
You need to tell somebody. You need to become a whistleblower.
You know I's a real man, but I never blow no whistle. I be drunk all my life and junk, you know.
No way. A whistleblower is someone who tells people what they see when they see something wrong happening at work.
But I ain't no whistleblower, and I ain't no snitch. I still white there, you know.
But ain't nobody can know it's you. All you gotta do is call Crime Stoppers, or you could text them from inside the Croc Crime Bahamas app. They don't ask about you, and your call goes straight through to Miami, so nobody know you is. And if you text, your message get mixed up like Kong Salad.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
For the past 33 years, Great Commission Ministries has been defending the poor and hurting, feeding the hungry, and sheltering the homeless. We invite you to support our Live to Give program and make a difference in these challenging times. Become a donor by giving a one-time annual gift or a monthly donation of $50 or $100. Call Great Commission Ministries at 325-5801 for more details. Or visit our headquarters at 237 Wolf Road. Join Live to Give today. This public service announcement is proudly sponsored by this radio station.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
When you ain't got no money, no, you're in a bad state. I don't think that's funny, no. I told my girl I lost my job. She said, baby, you got to think it out, 'cause you're in a bad state. You ain't got no money, no, you're in a bad state.
We are back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. Laverne, are you there? Yes, Laverne?
Yes, I'm right here.
Okay, we're back. We got everybody back. Wonderful
Yeah.
stuff. Great to have you with us. Having some challenges this morning with the internet. But okay, so we continue with Financial Literacy Month, all month long. There's April, and in part 3 of our 4-part series, we're talking about budgeting and essential financial skills, including savings. And back with us from Druber Solutions, very pleased to have Nathaniel Butler. Nathaniel, great to have you as always.
Thanks for having me back, Dwight. And it's great to be here on Morning Blend with the Morning Blend community.
Oh, wonderful stuff. And we have a full crew this morning. We've got Lakeisha Simmons, we've got Sterling Bain, we've got Keno Hanna, who's over there with you, Laverne, in Grand Bahama. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. Everybody, welcome to the show. Great to have you with us.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
All right. All right, great stuff. All right, so budgeting and savings, essential financial skills. This is a tough one. This is a tough one for so many people, Nathaniel. Let's talk about it in general, and then we'll get deeper into it. Why is this so difficult for so many people? Are we there? Yep. Why? We're having another issue. Yes? Oh, dear. This is going to be one of those days. Okay, we're going to ask everybody to be patient with us today. Something is happening with the internet, and we don't know what's going on, but we've got our IT crew looking into it. It is dropping. It is in and out, and boy. Okay. Let's see. What should we do here? Should we go to a break? Yeah, let's do that. And then we'll see if we can get this sorted out. We're having a lot of problems today, folks. This is going on. We know that many of you are having issues with us on the app and the website as well. It is, another one of those days. All right, let's see what we can do. We'll be back. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. We curse this pandemic because we would have guests in the studio. This wouldn't be a problem, but oh, my goodness gracious. Okay, we'll be back. Stay with us.
I told my girl I lost my job. She said, baby, you got to think it out, 'cause you're in a bad state. You ain't got no money, no, you're in a bad state. I don't think that's funny, no. I thought those days would never come, but now I'm looking in the eyes of starvation, 'cause I'm in a bad state. I ain't got no money, no, I'm in a bad state. I don't think that's funny, no. No money, honey, no cash, hey. My car's out of gas, I ain't got no class. I met my buddy Johnny out by the supermarket. I said, hey Johnny, could you kindly lend me $1? 'Cause I'm in a bad state. I ain't got no money, no, I'm in a bad state. I don't think that's funny, no, I'm in a bad state. I ain't got no money, no, 'cause I'm in a bad state. I don't think that's funny, no. No money, honey, my car's out of gas, I ain't got no class, got nowhere to go, I ain't got no dough. No money, honey, no class. I thought those days would never come, but now I'm looking in the eyes of starvation, 'cause I'm in a bad state. I ain't got no money, no, I'm in a bad state. I don't think that's funny, no. I lost my job. People sending me bills from all over town. I got to pay my light bill, my water bill, got to pay my mortgage, school fees, can't license my car. Man, I'm in a bad state.
Bad state is the state of this the studio and the internet here. Okay, all right. I think we are back up. Laverne, we got you back up there. Yep. Okay, we're gonna get everybody back. So we are talking with Laverne Gardner, my co-host this morning, and we have got Nathaniel Butler, we've got Lakeisha Simmons, Sterling Bain, and Keno Hanna. We are talking about budgeting and essential financial skills like savings this morning. All right. So. Yes, we've got everybody back?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So before that interruption there, Nathaniel asking, well, why it's so difficult for so many people to be able to budget and to save? Well, what are the most common reasons that we're seeing?
Well, Dwight, to be honest with you, it really comes down to a matter of perspective, perception, decision, and discipline.
Wow.
Yeah. So, see, I don't want to get into do I make enough? That's a perception. That might be a perspective issue. That might be a decisional issue. It could be even a discipline issue. Mm-hmm. Well, the cost of living in the Bahamas is too high. And I'm not saying that these are not truths and these are not realities. I am just saying that we now need to look within ourselves and to see or assess if we have self-control. Now, there are a number of persons who are below the poverty line. And I want to be very, very clear. There are a number of persons who are below the poverty line. So there is little to nothing to save. You get what I'm saying, Dwight?
Yep.
However, the question now is, are you willing to make the sacrifice in doing some things a little different in the sense of raising their income or achieving the highest level of their income generating ability? That's the question. And if they commit to that, now putting them in a position where there's access to the information for them to rise above and be able to do the things that you were asking in your question. So I want to be very clear with that. But in regards to middle class, mid-middle class going to affluent, no, that's just a matter of decision and discipline, and that's a matter of perception and perspective.
Wow. Okay, it's you're putting it bluntly there, and harsh for some people to recognize that they are the main reason they can't save. Nothing more, but their choices are the reasons.
Yeah, you could reduce your income to. It's so much. We can reduce our income. I mean, reduce our expenses. We could reduce our expenses, but they can get to a point where you can't reduce it anymore. And I understand that reality. Mm-hmm. But now the question is, and everybody admits to it. I love when Stephen talks about this all the time when he's on the show. He says that, in the Bahamas, you have to have a main job and 2 side hustles.
Yeah.
Just to survive. And though he's saying that, I as a financial planner in the country, I'm saying, yeah, he's right. He's right. And it doesn't matter how much your salary is, Dwight. Dwight, in this country right now, and I'll let the others chime in, but in this country right now, Dwight, most persons are faced with what we call lifestyle inflation. So as their salary increase, their lifestyle increase. Mm-hmm. As they make more money, the lifestyle that they want to portray is expensive. And so now the costs are associated with that lifestyle.
More money, more problems. That's what that old song used to say, right? And I mean, definitely true. Wow. So this requires a mindset shift. Are we doing that? Are we seeing that? I know we've been talking about this for a long time. We've been hearing about these challenges, but are people getting it?
Honestly, Dwight, I would say yes and no. They are getting it in the small vacuums and circles. Because remember now, predominantly, this is Financial Literacy Month. And the central bank, along with the Clearing Banks Association, they've created a campaign called Get Money Smart. And that campaign has been going on for a couple of years now. In addition to that, we have a lot of financial institutions such as the credit unions and a few of our banks who offer financial coaching or counseling of some sort. And then to add to that, you have all of these independent advisors. And then on top of that, you have these insurance agents and retirement agents. Now, there are two types, sale-oriented individuals, and then you have those who are very much more financial planning oriented. And those who are financial planning oriented, all of us, even though we may say it in different ways, we are all trying to speak to mindset and behavior modification. So on a small grassroots level, yes. In regards to has it penetrate the entire country? No, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. We're going to get there, Dwight, but it's going to take some time.
Mm-hmm. Let's get Lakeisha Simmons and Sterling Bain and Keno Hanna in on this conversation. What are you all seeing out there, and what's it going to take to get more people to wake up and realize that they can really change the situation they find themselves in?
Good morning, Dwight. Sterling. I think one of the big things is that we have to take control of our money. You know, as we talk about savings or budgeting, a budget is a plan. And if we don't have a plan, then we will spend without thinking, right? We'll spend more in the food stores, we'll spend more when we go to eat out, etc. But we have to take control of our money. And as one of the big enemies of savings, I know we're not talking about this today, is debt. Wow. So you ask, why can't we save? It's because a big part of it is we have lost control of our money and we're in tons of debt. Mm-hmm. So I think that definitely contributes to it. And lack of literacy, as Nathaniel was saying earlier as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it sounds like greed is a part of this as well then. Some of us have big eyes and just want everything we see.
I don't know if it's necessarily greed. I think that plays into it. But I think a lot of us are naturally spenders. We get money and we think we have to spend it. And there's little to no thought about what's going to happen in the future. So I think natural spenders will spend the money and not thinking about saving.
Wow. Lakeisha, Keno?
Yes, good morning, everyone. So for me, Nathaniel touched on a key point, and I think we need to emphasize on that, and that's to do with the mindset, because we have to make that shift from that consumer way of thinking and managing our money to one of a wealth perspective. And so once we actually tie our savings into a goal or something that solves a problem, I think people will stick to the plan, and then they would not increase their lifestyle and, around the inflation or increase that particular income that they got in. They will begin to start budgeting. So I think with the financial literacy management program such as this will open up persons' eyes for them to shift from that consumer mindset to one of a wealth mindset. And then we can begin to start seeing the change that we really need in this country.
Yep, excellent. And Keno?
Actually, the first guy was...
Oh, that was Keno. Okay. So Sterling then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's just like Nathaniel mentioned earlier, what is happening is you have two sets of dilemmas when it comes to spending. You either have your income. You have a spending problem or you have an income problem. And most of us usually, if you can correct the income level, if you have an income problem, then that should help mediate it. But when it comes to spending, we're realizing that a lot of people don't exude, like he said earlier, discipline. And what I teach on is focus and intentionality. So what do you value in life? You have to now put these things in the forefront of your mind to say, okay, if I want to retire a millionaire, or if I want to be able to do trips around the world, vacation, that money has to come from somewhere. So now you have to actually buckle down, get into a disciplined mindset and start to realize, okay, if I want to achieve these things, it's not going to magically just happen. I have to actually put an effort and put a plan towards these objectives. And so what has to happen, we need to now start thinking with that mindset in mind, living for tomorrow and not just for today, because usually everyone's just working for the weekend. And when the weekend's over, it's back to trudging, right? So thinking that, okay, I'm going to work for several more weekends, but eventually time's going to be where I'm going to have all the free time I want to myself. What am I going to be able to do with that? So that's what we're going to have to look at as well.
Do you think that part of the way that we spend is almost a cultural thing? Because if you speak to people about retirement and what they want to do, they all have that goal. Yes, I want to retire. I want to be able to afford to retire. I want to be able to travel when I retire. Like, yes, they want all these things, but the knowledge, I guess, the education, the perspective of how do I get that done? What do I need to do to work towards? It's like they don't know how to get there. They know that's what they want to do, but they just don't really understand how their spending habits influences their ability to get there.
No, I totally get you, man. I'll say this, and I'll let Sterling touch on this. The challenge that we have had in our country, and we said it over and over, that a lot of what you see we as Bahamians do in the country is what we have learned from childhood. The subject matter of retirement is such a sensitive one because for the first time ever, we have a lot of baby boomers who are about to retire. And I've said it before, in the workplace, most HR professionals will schedule the conversation about retirement when you're almost a year out, 6 months out, a month out. That can't help an individual. That needs to be ongoing conversations every year where you just check in more so than having the conversation at the end of your career and very little time to make the necessary changes. In the Bahamas, we don't associate the reality of what needs to happen until a life event happens. Right. So for persons who want to focus on retirement, it isn't until they're approaching retirement that they begin to realize, oh, I need to retire. For persons who sending their child off to school, applying for scholarships, they won't apply until the graduation. When persons won't get insurance until somebody dies. And persons won't get a will until somebody in the family has passed and didn't have a will. Like, we kind of live in our culture, we are kind of reactive versus being.
Oh boy. Again? Versus being proactive, I'm sure he's about to say. Okay, so that's a good point for us to take a quick break there. Let's get to the commercials, and then we'll pick up with this. I'm going to get into specifics about budgeting and savings, if there are any specific rules that we need to keep in mind, any tips on how to do it effectively despite what your income levels are. We're going to get into that after the break. We apologize for the internet. We're told it's the service provider today. I don't know what's going on. But, this is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio. Stay with us.
When you ain't got no money, no, you're in a bad state. I don't think that's funny, no. I told my girl I lost my job. She said, baby,
you invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAO, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAO. Growing wealth for future generations.
Boy, why you look so mashed up like clothes at the washer?
No, boy, just a hard day. What?
Hard day? What happened? The breakfast lady ran out of tuna and gritty.
We need to start joking with everything, you know. This serious, boy. This real serious, boy.
Boy, what's serious? Tell me.
All right, well, today, boss gave us, boy, one big contract. And nobody else get a chance and nobody say nothing.
Boy, you know that ain't right. You know government contracts ain't supposed to go that way.
Yeah, but nobody's saying nothing. Boss man just tell people to sign the papers. Then he send me to meet his boy downtown and collect this envelope.
You need to tell somebody. You need to become a whistleblower.
You know I's a real man, but I never blow no whistle. I be drunk all my life and junking.
No way. A whistleblower is someone who tells people what they see when they see something wrong happening at work.
But I ain't no whistleblower, and I ain't no snitch. I still white there, you know.
But ain't nobody can know it's you. All you gotta do is call Crime Stoppers, or you could text them from inside the Croc Crime Bahamas app. They don't ask about you, and your call goes straight through to Miami, so nobody know you is. And if you text, your message get mixed up like Kong Salad.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
For the past 33 years, Great Commission Ministries has been defending the poor and hurting, feeding the hungry, and sheltering the homeless. We invite you to support our Live to Give program and make a difference in these challenging times. Become a donor by giving a one-time annual gift or a monthly donation of $50 or $100. Call Great Commission Ministries at 325-5801 for more details, or visit our headquarters at 237 Wolf Road. Join Live to Give today. This public service announcement is proudly sponsored by this radio station.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Got your final look at weather for today. We've got two frontal boundaries that are going to emerge over the northwest Bahamas, while high pressure will weaken over the remaining islands. For the northwest Bahamas today, look for partly cloudy to cloudy, hot, humid, and hazy conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. For the central southeastern Bahamas, partly sunny, humid, hot, and hazy with a passing shower. High temperatures getting up to around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. In your extended outlook, that cold front will drift into the central Bahamas, where it will weaken and dissipate by Friday tomorrow, as high pressure and fresh breezes will build across the islands come Saturday. So for tomorrow, Friday, look for partly cloudy, warm, and breezy conditions in the northwest and northwest Bahamas with isolated showers or thunderstorms near the front in the central Bahamas, mostly sunny and warm in the southeastern islands. Saturday, partly mostly sunny, hot, and breezy with an isolated shower or two. That's your morning blend weather check.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Hey! Sing in the building, everybody hands up in the air. Who not? Sing in the building, everybody hands up in the air. Let's go! Hey! Get money, hey! Get money, hey! Get money, hey! Get money. Everyone wants money. Everyone needs money. It's all about money. Tell me, who don't need money to pay down?
And we're back here with Morning Blend Business. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. Let's keep our fingers all crossed. It's going to hold out for at least the next 10 minutes so we can get this final part of the show in. But we are talking about budgeting and savings and essential financial skills. We've got Nathaniel Butler along with Lakeisha Simmons, Sterling Bain, and Keno Hanna with us this morning. So, Nathaniel, you're making a great point before we got cut off again with the internet issues we're having this morning. But you were saying that we are too reactive here. Not being proactive, not saving long ahead before we need to do something. So few people I can imagine seem to have college funds for their children here. It's just whatever happens to you when you graduate, good luck to you, kid. But let's talk more about that and what needs to what people need to keep in mind if they don't want to be so reactive.
Yeah, it really centers around anticipating life events before it happens and positioning yourself to respond to it. And the only way for that to happen is budgeting. I think Sterling was going to make a point on top of that.
Sterling, go ahead. Yep.
Yeah, that's correct. Budgeting is basically telling your money where it's going to go, what it's going to do for you. Because if you don't tell your money where it's going to go, it's basically just going to do its own thing. And we know all too well about people having more months than money. You don't know where it's gone. You just know it's gone. And you usually have to go and ask to borrow some more. So what happens is basically you have to come up with this budget. And a budget isn't something that just says, okay, I have no control of my life. I can't do anything fun. You can actually, depending on the budget that you choose, work out where you can actually afford some of the minor luxuries that you have. And you can actually live the type of life you want. You just have to be more responsible with how you're spending it. So you can actually, one, set up a budget. Two, be able to track your spending. And so with that, you're beginning to put a plan together in mind and in motion so that you can actually put that money towards good work and use for your life.
Yeah. Is there a simple solution or equation or ratio to keep in mind when you are creating a budget on how you can do the things you talked about, Sterling, the luxuries, but also save and to pay off all those bills? Is there something that we can keep in mind?
Well, I follow the Dave Ramsey 7 baby steps. So for me, the first step in setting up your budget, I use a zero-based budget, which basically means that every month, whenever I take into account my income, I put every dollar to work. So my income equals my monthly expenses. So it's going to equal to zero by the time as I'm finished. So every dollar is going to have a position to do something for that month.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, hey, everybody else is on that same plan there, or are there other things that you can do?
Yes. I love the zero-based budget. It really keeps you disciplined. But I think an approach persons can take towards it is if they adopt the 50-20-30 approach, where they allocate about 50% of their income towards household items such as food and necessities. That's very important. So once they give that zero-based budget and they put these in categories such as that, 20% should go towards paying debt and increasing your savings, and 30% should go towards whatever discretionary, and that's the stuff like what we need, because persons, when you think about budget, they tend to look at it as a word that's so restrictive. But if they use the 50-20-30 approach, it can give them some sort of balance within that zero-based budget, and they're still able to maintain and enjoy life. Also, I want to touch on, most people, even though they put plans in place, one of the things is we know what to do, but we don't do it. And then there's that gap. I find that when you connect with communities of like-minded individuals, it helps for you to stay committed to the process. And so I want to encourage persons today, they might have a plan or they're already created. They might know what they need to do, but they're not doing it. So connecting with like-minded people will definitely help.
Wow, great stuff there. Kino?
Yeah, thanks again. And I think it's important as we talk about budgeting is to know what happens when we don't budget, right? We lose track of our spending. We're going to spend more than we should in some areas. We're going to waste money, right? We don't save because we're spending too much. We're going to get into debt because there's a shortfall. And then long term, our dreams get farther and farther away. So when we don't budget, we're moving far away from where we actually want to go, but we don't think about it in the now. And that's so important to think about it right now.
Well, are there other things people need to keep in mind, other essential financial skills that people need to keep in mind, and how early can we get folks to understand that these are essential?
Well, an essential thing is getting rid of your debt, because a lot of folks, we believe, okay, it's a part of life. You got to get that car loan from the bank. You have to get this other consumer loan that's out there to make things happen when you can actually finance these things yourself. It's just a matter of you now learning to put aside a savings towards that. And so what I usually suggest as well, along with the budget, is you create an emergency savings as you begin to learn to pay off your debt, because what happens, life is like Murphy's Law says, whatever is going to happen will happen. Whatever can happen will happen. So what you want to do is make sure that you're prepared to take on any of life's little emergencies. So having an emergency fund will just turn the crisis into an inconvenience. And so from there, once you have your emergency fund set up, once you have your budget working for you, then you can tackle taking down your debt. Now, there are multiple methods of taking down debt. I use the debt snowball method. You have the Kiyosaki method, you have the most emotional baggage method, and you have the debt avalanche method. But I find that in order to stay motivated, the debt snowball works well in terms of you take your smallest debt, you arrange all of your debt, and you work from the smallest to the largest. And so what happens is you maintain minimum payments on all, but for the smallest debt, you pay the most you can to eliminate that first. And then the money you use to eliminate the smallest one, you take it to the next smallest one, and you eliminate that one, and you just keep going. So it's like a snowball building, in effect, until you're all done. And it shows you results faster. And so that keeps you motivated to continue to take out your debt, because once you take out your debt, your income is your most powerful tool. That's your wealth building tool. If you have your income being shared out to paying off people for loans that you took out, to the banks, to other lenders, you're not going to have it to be able to achieve the dreams and goals you want. So you have to eliminate your debt first, keep on that budget, set up the emergency funds so that when you get in place where you're ready to invest, where you're ready to want to send those kids to college, you can actually have some money set aside for that. When you want to retire, you can actually retire well and even pay off your mortgage before you get into retirement so that you don't have to worry about the overhead of that house anymore. So those are different ways. And giving, being generous, being kind with the funds that you're now able to accrue because you have a better standard of living because you don't have debt anymore in your life. Those are the 7 things that I think about that Bahamians can start right now doing to help change that financial outlook and atmosphere in their lives.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds wonderful, but Nathaniel, you talked about it earlier, but it sounds like to do all these things, you're going to be living on some canned meats only every day for a little while. Does it have to be like that where you're going to have to sacrifice, or are you able to do this and still have the quality of life and do all the exciting things you want to do? Is it possible?
You're going to sacrifice for a very, very short season in life, and then you'll be eating large or living large and in charge for the rest of your life. So it is practical, very short season. And for others who tap into their income generating ability, that season will be extremely short. And then you start living large and in charge, man, Dwight. So it's up to you. It's up to you, really.
It can be done. It can be done. All right. A lot to think about. Sorry again for our internet issues today, but we're definitely going to pick this up. We have part 4 coming up next week, Thursday. And Nathaniel Butler, thank you so much for all that you've been doing for this series for us on Morning Blend Business. We appreciate you and appreciate our guests this morning, Lakeisha Simmons, Sterling Bain, and Keno Hanna. Thank you all so much, very much appreciate you today.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
All right. Laverne Gardner.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's been an interesting day. Hopefully that was the worst of it so far. I hope, but we will see. But thank you so much, Laverne. Always a pleasure. Talk with you next week. All right. And I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio right after Morning Blend. Join us tomorrow morning for that. And stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.